Let's take a look at all the new updates in Classic Mode. Firstly, in this update, we've updated some firearms and attachments. We've revamped the FAMAS by giving it a brand new 3D model and stats. The new FAMAS will be added as an airdrop weapon. If you want to try it for yourself, muster your courage and go after an airdrop. Furthermore, we'll be removing the AUG from airdrops, so you should start finding traces of it on the map. We've also made some adjustments to its stats. So which will you choose, the AUG or the M416? We've added a new melee weapon, Dagger, which will be available on all maps. Equip it to gain access to new animations for grip, movement, and attack. In the themed mode, the Dagger will also have some special buffs. Not only that, but we've also increased how much damage melee weapons inflict on PvE enemies, including those in Metro Royale in the themed mode. However, the damage throwables inflict remains the same. In version 2.8, we've made some adjustments to the ACE-32 stats. We've reduced its recoil and also improved the firing animation to provide a better shooting experience. We'll be introducing a new tactical attachment, Tactical Gunpowder Tool. After equipping it, gunpowder gets applied to bolts, allowing them to cause a delayed explosion after impact. Try using your imagination to eliminate your enemies. Moreover, we've also added a smart voice when marking feature. When enabled, the system is able to play a voice message with the marked location's name.
Let's head to military base.
At the same time, the information will also be sent in chat as a text message for smooth communication. We've also added an option that allows you to choose whether spectating companions are visible or not. You can quickly adjust it with the tab at the bottom of chat. This setting is synced with the main settings. That way, you can concentrate better in the battle or interact better with your companion. Finally, be sure to check them out after updating the game. That's it for today's video. See you next time!
In the new version, several new gameplay devices have been added to World of Wonder. Let's take a look. First, let's check out the bulletin board device. When you need to communicate something to the players, you can write it here. After setting it up, it will appear in the map as a small bulletin board. Put it somewhere where everyone can see it. If you wish to include more special supplies on your map, try using the new custom shop device. After setting up the available items, players will be able to purchase them at the shop in-game, which adds to the variety of ways to acquire supplies. Besides supplies, the camera view on the map can now also be adjusted. Go to the settings to select from 3 different camera views and see how the map looks in different fields of view. Of course, there are also some new devices for designing gameplay. The new condition checking device allows you to add more trigger conditions and link them together for one end result, which increases the variety and depth of gameplay. Also, the multiple choice decision device opens up new and interesting gameplay possibilities. You can set up different choices for players to choose from. And the detectable actions associated with each choice can make the gameplay much more dynamic. Lovers of PvE maps won't want to miss the AI waypoint device. This device lets you easily set up movement routes for AI bots, and when combined with other devices, lets them directly trigger detectable actions for even more gameplay options. Finally, the new audio device helps deliver an enhanced audio experience. You can now choose different sound effects and music cues to be triggered in the game. Link them up with different detectable actions for a more complete gameplay experience.
Fica de olho agora, Rato. Vai! Derrubando! O Kurama pode ser o próximo e foi! Fica isso que tá perdendo a partida! Aquilo, é impressionante! Richie que tá aguantando pra la zona da favorita da corrida! We are God level, so you better hype it up! Happy birthday!
With the new version update, World of Wonder has added a new feature. When building a map, there's a new character switch device available. This device lets players play as their companions. After setting it up, players will be able to transform into their companion to play the game. If the player hasn't set a companion for battle, they'll transform into Ray by default. After transforming into a companion, you can freely run and jump to complete the game, making this device suitable for race maps. Come and try it out now!
Hi everyone, with the new version 2.8 update, Metro Royale enters Chapter 16. So, what new updates will Chapter 16 bring? Let's get right to it. In Chapter 16, we've updated the look of the FAMAS. We've also made some balance and pricing adjustments to the FAMAS and AUG. Everyone should get ready for that. Apart from firearm updates, this new update will also be introducing a new melee weapon, the dagger. It can be purchased from the shop. After equipping the dagger, you can enjoy a new set of actions, including hold, movement, and attack animations. The dagger has exceptional attack speed, but its attack range is also limited. It's a great choice of weapon when you run out of ammo. In the Metro Royale lobby, you can dance with your teammates. Hurry and grab your teammates and have fun dancing together. At the same time, we've also added Chapter 16 collectibles. Chapter 16 will be available from September 8th at 2 o'clock to November 16th at midnight. Be sure to mark your calendars, everyone. That's a wrap for the new Metro Royale content in Chapter 16. Wishing everyone a successful evacuation and a bountiful harvest.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome into the PUBG Mobile Muscle Car Madness Grand Finals. I'm going to be your host all day today. My name is Grandmaster Goj, and it's great to be back here with PUBG Mobile. This event is going to be awesome. We've got a series of qualifiers to get here, but today's the Grand Finals. And I got to remind everybody, of course, that you've got to go download PUBG Mobile right now with the link in the description down below. You can play the 2.8 update, and it's all free. Go download PUBG Mobile on all iOS or Android Google Play stores. Go get involved right now. And you gotta go follow PUBG Mobile on all of their major socials. They always have new news, updates, events, patch notes, and everything in between. So go follow PUBG Mobile on all major socials as well. They're the reason we're here, and we're excited to get into it. And this brand new Dodge collaboration. I couldn't bring you all of this amazing content and this amazing tournament by myself, though. We've got to bring in an OG, a GOAT himself, Mr. Powerbang. Lance, how are you feeling today to be here for the Muscle Madness?
Feeling so strong, I'm feeling in control, and I'm excited to see these vehicles on the battlegrounds. We got Muscle Car Madness going on today live. We've got some shoot 'em up action going. We got some sweet action behind the wheel as well. Can't wait to bring you that here in just a little bit.
Heck yeah. And speaking of that format, I want to break down this format because it is a fun and unique new format that we're trying. The qualifiers totally different. You see, of course, we had our qualifier registration into the qualifier format where they played Erangel, 5 maps of that to make it to the main stage. But here in the main event, it is October 4th. We're live right now, and thank you for being here. 48 players will be paired up with 16 creators to make those 16 teams. So that's right, 1 creator with 3 qualified players randomly assigned to each of those creators to make their full team of 4 for our maps. Now, we are playing Erangel, Lance. We are playing Miramar after that, and then we're going to be playing some World of Wonder official Dodge collaboration maps as our players race around the maps or across some of these drag strips. I know you're excited to see this as well, this kind of mix and match format.
I absolutely am. We're going to be tearing it up on not only some circuits, but also some drag race strips. And obviously, we've got the familiar maps that you guys know and love. We got the classics. We got the Miramar. We got the Erangel coming up in just a bit. We're playing for a bunch of money today as well, Goj. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we've got $10,000 on the line, which is super exciting. And of course, this is all being played in the 2.8 update as well. So much we can break down. Again, our format is amazing, but we're playing for $10,000. And Lance, $5,000 to the winning team, but the top 4 teams are going to be walking away with at least a little bit of cash, which is always exciting because sometimes things don't go your way. As I talked to Win before the event, Lance said, I think he got second in the last one, was not happy about it, was to get first this time around, will win $5,000 as a team if they're able to do just that. But speaking of some of those teams, Lance, let's start walking through a couple of our featured teams today. Here's our 16 creators, all incredible, and as well as, by the way, they have their community members that made it through the qualifiers competing with them. But here are our captains, Lance.
Amazing. We'll start out with none other than Bella Fox. She is known as the Drift Queen at the racetrack, but she is also quite the sniper on the battleground. She'll lead her squad today with C4 Psych. We've got Axel Noof, and not only that, we've got V Fish, who customized one of the maps that you will see played later today. It's the World of Wonder, and I am so excited to see what Fish has got in store for us.
Yeah, I think he actually walked away with some cash for doing that as well. Won a competition. Super, super cool. But let's take a look at some of our other squads. We're going to Team Farouk. Now, I want to shout out this team in particular for a couple reasons. Of course, Farouk, an amazing content creator, and there's some cool content you'll see a little bit later in the show where he's participating in something pretty cool. But his teammates, I was talking to his community members that qualified for this event. They gave me 3 lines. We're going to start with Cross-Eye. He said, if you hear a shotgun reloading, run for your life. All right? So remember that one when you hear your shotguns. 3 said, you peek, you die. So, I mean, hey, 3, I love the confidence. We'll see if you can do it. And then finally, Lance, Didi said, you're all about to get served. So I don't know if that's in a court of law or on the racetrack, but regardless, watch out for this team.
This man's handing out subpoenas out of his Dodge. That's going to be interesting to see. We've got Team Thesaurus PG coming up next, led by Papa PG himself. He's backed by SRT Onyx as well as Yeti, and also Quan Deadshot, who is making yet another appearance in one of our PUBG Mobile community events. He always seems to find his way to the finals.
That's exactly right. And finally, the last team that we're going to kind of highlight here, Team Winsanity. And I said it before, Win was talking some trash. They got second in the last event after winning 4 out of 5 maps, by the way. So they want to repeat some of that success, but this time walk away with the grand prize in first place of $5K. Also, there's a little bit of some chemistry here. Payne is an incredible player, has made some appearances in some of these qualifiers, and a really strong asset. They said that Payne was going to carry them. But Pokey and Win have played together as well. They play together on Winstream all the time, and I know we've got some Winsanity fans in the chat. We want to see who you're rooting for. This might be the team that I'm backing today, but Lance, as we know with PUBG Mobile, anything can happen and any team can come out on top. So I want to take a look at our format here again and kind of break it down a little bit closer to home, because we are starting with Erangel, Lance, and this is something that we've seen this time and time again in PUBG Mobile tournaments. This is the kind of tried and true favorite, the OG map, but then it's going to get a little bit more spicy as we walk into Miramar and then into some cool content before we get into some of those official Dodge maps in World of Wonder.
That's right. Rumor has it we had some of our competitors actually do some practicing on the raceways. I am excited to see that in just a bit. We won't share any spoilers just yet, but make sure you keep it here locked in. Stay tuned because it's something like I've never seen inside of the PUBG Mobile community. And boy, Coach, I am stoked for this particular event because I have checked out the openings, the lucky spins, and we're going to get hooked up with that brand new Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat Edition. That's my personal choice. We're going to rock and roll with that.
That is a great breakdown. That 2.8 update is really, really cool. Dodge collaboration, an amazing walkthrough of that. Different skins, really fun. We're going to be highlighting that all day today. But Lance, there's also some other things that happened in that 2.8 update, right? We've got a new melee weapon, the dagger. We've got some reworked weapons as well. And the World of Wonder got an update with its templates and building capabilities. So a lot to celebrate here. And of course, that Dodge collaboration. I'm just excited to see which skins in particular the players are going to be utilizing, because I know they're all going to be equipped those amazing Dodge skins, so we'll keep an eye out for that and call those out when we see them. But game's about to start here, Lance. Now, you and I both know I love predictions. I'm always somebody that loves to throw out predictions early. I don't think we have to do it now because we haven't started the tournament yet. We got to see what some of these teams can do to build some Kim. But keep your head out and keep your eyes open because the predictions are going to come, Lance. And I'm going to force you to pick some teams and back some squads because you've been here before, you've competed, but you've also hosted a lot of these. So I think you've got a pretty good idea of who you might think could win.
I got a pretty good idea of who's the who of the PUBG Mobile community. I'm very excited to see who we are going to see win. But if I had to wager a bet, I'm going to say it's more likely that it is not one of the 4 drivers and PUBG Mobile players that we have featured today. I'm just going to go by the odds. It's going to be one of the 12 others. That's what my guess is. We'll narrow it down further after game number 1, Coach.
I love it. All right, again, we're starting out with Aaron Gallant. This is going to be kind of normal PUBG Mobile slaying. It's going to be a lot of fun. In terms of format and scoring, I want to remind everybody of our actual scoring of this, which is every elimination you get, Lance, is 2 points, which is huge, right? So you want to make sure you're grabbing some eliminations along the way. But then, of course, we have placement points as well. If you win, if you get that chicken dinner, which is quite difficult in the lobby like this, but if you do, 15 points going to your team. So placement certainly matters. Eliminations certainly matter. We're going to see how some of these teams work together and build chemistry along the way to get as many points as possible. When we go into those racing maps, though, you'll be awarded for winning the race and potentially nothing else. So a lot on the line as you're trying to grab points throughout the day. A lot of different ways to do that. And I think we can talk a little bit about this too, Lance. It's not necessarily a surprise for the broadcast. We won't reveal how these are actually earned yet, but I think we've got some Dodge Detour challenges going to be popping up during the games as well. Another way to earn some points, which is exciting.
I was just about to mention the Dodge Detours. We're going to be taking some pit stops, maybe some side quest activity going on during today's broadcast. And if your name's Winsanity, you may want to pay attention to these because in the past, not only did you win some games, but unfortunately did not get done the challenges. And today, the teams are going to want to lock in on those Dodge Detours because rumor has it they'll be worth some points.
Yeah, I think that's a great breakdown. And I think when we talk about scoreboards, Lance, it always comes down in events like this with leaderboards. There's always several teams that kind of break away from the pack, right? You've got your 4 or 5 teams near the top, and the top 4 are getting paid out today. But at the top in those top 4, it's usually really, really close. So if there's ever an opportunity to grab some extra points because of some of these Dodge Detours or otherwise outside of kind of the traditional format, you've got to go for it. And so that's what's going to be fun to watch is which teams are really focusing on kind of the tournament mindset of really trying to sweat and win the game, grab that chicken dinner, maybe some eliminations along the way, and which teams really try to lock in some of those Dodge Detours. So fun ways to grab points across the board. If you're maybe not a hyper-competitive player, there's still ways to work your way up this leaderboard, which is always fun and exciting to kind of add into the mix, Lance.
You mentioned needing to be focused and being locked in, and one of the players that I know will be in a perfect spot to do that is Rolex. He comes to play and comes to win every single one of these events. I know he'll have his team in that same frame of mind, and he was able to pick up a victory here recently as well at one of the LAN tournaments that we put on. And man, here is the team. He's got Spinks, Juicy, and Malcone backing him up here today. So a fearsome roster for sure. But if I know Rolex, he is going to be locked in and targeting that winner chicken dinner.
Yeah, I think this is a great team to highlight because Rolex is like nearly always on top with every event we do. So we'll see if the kind of history could repeat itself. But I think as we're looking at some of those teams, we already highlighted several of them. Papa PG, of course, Winsanity. But Powerbang, I mean, we can't not talk about Metalcore, right? Like Metalcore, Jacob Gaming, like all of these teams, all of these players, really, really talented. The Boat Gang is always showing out in broadcast chat as well. So if you're a member of the Boat Gang, definitely show up, maybe wave your hand in chat, throw some hearts in chat for Jacob. But Metalcore team, this is a squad I think that could do really well. Metalcore is just a great IGL, an in-game leader. Metalcore is going to be kind of driving the boat, as it were, or maybe driving the Dodge, as it were, in this competition and leading his squad with great communication to potentially lead a squad to a victory. We'll see.
Amazing. I like the Metalcore call out here, and I am so excited. We got our first game coming up in just a minute. We're going to be diving into Erangel, and where my eyes are locked in are some of those new features in 2.8. The couple that I like are the AUG not being in the crates anymore. It's one of my favorite rifles in the game, and now you can just find it anywhere on the battlegrounds. Does have a slight tune. You'll have to figure out if you want to take that or the M4. And we also have the new tactical gunpowder tool. I got to remember the name still. But the idea is you've got the crossbow with the explosive tip. It blows up on a little bit of a delay, with the exception of if you actually hit the target, it'll blow up immediately. That to me seems super fun. I'm wondering if any of the creators today or their teammates will actually take them on that challenge.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you highlighted that, because some of these gun reworks and things like that, where like the crossbow, it's very good, but it's like a content farm generator, right? Like you can get so many cool content clips for it. When you start throwing explosive tips on it with that new attachment, it's a game changer. Let alone, I think it's actually going to be even more usable in game, because you can even use it to zone off an area, right? That kind of delayed explosion. It's like having extra grenades in pocket, a huge boon. I think we might even see some teams try to pick it up and use it. I don't know. They might just stick with the tried and true. We'll see. But Lance, I'm getting word. Game 1, map 1 is here. We're going to Erangel, and I couldn't be more excited to see that plane fly in, because I know these players are anxious to get onto the battlefield and see what they can do, especially against some of their content creator buddies, or maybe if you're a community member, you're trying to prove your name and prove something here on the battlefield. Now's the time to do it on the battlegrounds. PUBG Mobile, Dodge collaboration. It's time. Let's get into the game here shortly.
I say we shift into gear, Goj.
Shift into gear, Lance. Oh no, it's starting. We're getting into the puns. Shift into gear, lock and load. The Dodge collaboration is here, and we're going to see some cool skins if we can find some vehicles on the map, which on a map like Erangel, you certainly want, Lance, because rotations are everything in order to find some success.
Love it. Driving along here with, well, flying along rather with Coffee, already out of the plane. Same with Dab Plays. These guys friends and early jumpers, it appears. So again, getting into that action early, and we'll see what type of skins they're rocking on their vehicles. I have a hunch I might know what they'll be.
Yeah, I was taking a look at some of those beforehand. Of course, we've got the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat, which has the Blaze Lime jailbreak. We've got the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat, which is the Tuscany Torque, the Fuchsia, the jailbreak as well there. And then the Dodge Hornet is all the new skins as well, with the GLH concept, the Scarlet Sting, Sunburst. Look, there's a lot of cool skins we can call out for all of these Dodge vehicles, and super excited to see them here on main stage. I was told, by the way, Lance, that Dad Plays might be one of the best drivers in the map today. At least his team was touting him for that, so we'll see if he can kind of live up to that namesake.
All right, you never know when somebody gets called out as being a really good driver, if it's like for real or ultra sarcastic. So now that you've mentioned that, I've got my eyes squarely on Dab Plays. We'll see for ourselves what kind of driver this man is. We've got an opportunity not only to drive on the battlegrounds, but also the tracks here on some of our official Dodge maps here a bit later on. But for now, check out Rolex's team here. It looks like they're in Milta getting that loot going on, and we'll see if they get challenged early on.
Yeah, again, we highlighted Rolex beforehand, and fantastic player. We've got Waffles Gaming here as well. We could spend several hours talking about these content creators' long history with PUBG Mobile, and of course all of our qualifyees, as it were, that worked their way through those rigorous qualifiers. I think we had well over like 700 people try to qualify for this event, and got down to the top 48th, which is super exciting to see what they can do. But Lance, especially in moments like this in the early game, I mean, talk to me a little bit about what these teams are going to be doing, especially on a map like Erangel, when we've got a lot of room to work with. What's kind of the strategy here in the early game?
Well, clearly the strategy for this is you securing a vehicle, getting one of those new Dodges in hand, getting those car keys. We got to get that. I'm half joking, but half serious here as well, because with 64 players on the map, we've got to be able to actually rotate and secure those positions that are optimal in the zone. So it's all about looting up quickly and then getting off wherever that circle happens to go. But before they do that, it looks like there may be a bit of a showdown brewing here in Milta. Juicy certainly seems to hear. Looks like Waffles Gaming and her squad camped out there awfully close together. Rolex's squad here has the angles for sure, but they suffer the early knock. Juicy down on his knees.
Yeah, I love early encounters on Erangel because these are crucial linchpin moments to look back on and say, okay, what could we have done different if you're the team that loses this early encounter? This is a massive moment for not only the team that wins it, but for the team that loses it, right? If you go down early in the first map, you're missing out on a ton of points you can earn in this first map. And we only have a couple of these large map games that we're going to be playing. We're going to be able to earn a sizable amount of points. So we'll see how this kind of team engages. Waffle kind of playing backside, but no, finds one out in the open. Waffle absolutely dominated the player on your screen. Fantastic shots from Waffles Gaming.
Great shots indeed. Another creator I want to call out that's in a bit of trouble is Bushka. Not currently on screen, but I saw him in the kill feed the receiving end of some lead, and that's not where he wants to be either. So Waffles, Rolex, Bushka all in it early on here. Milta starting to pop off for sure. And now we're hearing the mortars of those Dodges fire up, and Rolex is in the vehicle. They may choose to get out of here. They seem to be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I'm excited to preview some more of those Dodge vehicles. But look, you can grab a Dodge, you're going to be feeling fantastic because you're going to be able to get out of Dodge in particular to get to the new location. It looks like a sizable amount of early fights, which is always fun to see. We talked about different zones of activity when it comes to Battle Royale, specifically here in PUBG Mobile. The early game, you've got to find the loot. Once you find loot, especially if you get good loot, you've got to put the pressure on some teams around you. Once you take out the teams around you and you kind of clear a path for rotation into the mid game, then you're going to be sitting pretty. You're going to be able to set up for that kind of in-game chaos that always ensues. Got to make sure you've got your smokes, got your dodge for a bit of cover, and of course to rotate to new circle when it pops. So usually the breakdown and everything's kind of playing out to that exact same formula.
Indeed it is. We got her gaming here. All kinds of pings coming out right now, and Bella Fox as well, seemingly nearby. Bella, again, lots of practice behind the wheel these last couple of weeks. But again, we'll have to see if that sniper rifle is on point today in the battlegrounds. Like Goj mentioned, just a few opportunities here really to get on that leaderboard, secure some points. So these first opening games are so crucial, and we have an awkward zone going up north right now, headed up towards Zarky. Not going to make it all the way there, but we are looking at that northern island potentially in this one.
That's a great shout as well, because especially when you drop, if you're maybe a team that doesn't like this kind of hyper-aggressive start and you're a team that drops kind of outside of zone, you've got a long way to go. Lance, what a better way to rotate than pick up your Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat, right? I mean, the Tuscany Torx, one of the different skins you could use. I believe, though, this is the Jailbreak, which is that kind of violet venom. No, I think this is Fuchsia, Lance. Yeah, this is the Fuchsia Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat. So excited to see a bunch of different skins today we'll be shouting out. This is kind of that fuchsia pink you'll be seeing a lot of teams using. Solara, apparently, this is one of her favorites.
Indeed. Love me some Charger. You know, I said the Challenger SRT Hellcat earlier. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go with the Charger. I feel like that thing, it's got some wiggles to it, man. It can cruise. It can do the drifting. I'm excited about it. You know, quite a bit of horsepower to show off here on the battlegrounds. We take our attention to Jacob. He's underground. I don't know if he's in hiding. I don't know if they're trying to deliver subpoenas or what's going on here. But Jacob, they have a buggy, so they're clearly at a disadvantage.
A massive disadvantage. First and foremost, tactically, You don't have a lot of cover. I mean, the amount of times I've seen Winsanity snipe somebody out of a buggy is innumerable. The man is always going for clips, and the buggy, not a lot of cover, not very quick. Maybe you can swap that up for a Dodge Charger, SRT Charger if you can. We'll see.
Indeed. This is the paint job here, though, Goj. This one is looking fire. This one is the Jailbreak Edition. It's the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat Jailbreak Edition. It's got those classic flames on there. And this thing cruises, dude. I cannot wait to see if we get some action with these vehicles, or if we have some Dodges run into each other on the battlegrounds. See if they get into a little bit of a race here. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, and we talk about the kind of like efficiency that you can gain when you use these vehicles. This is exactly what I was talking about, right? When you've got somebody like Her Gaming rotating and we're maybe swapping between several different vehicles. I don't know why we would swap to a more open-aired vehicle, because that Dodge was flying, but this is what I was talking about. You've got to have a vehicle for rotations, especially if you're out in the blue. We know how punishing it can be, and so if you don't have a vehicle, go find one to rotate into new. That blue will chip you away dramatically, especially in kind of the mid to mid-in game. If you don't have a vehicle, you're going to be in trouble. But the cover of, especially our Dodge vehicles, is actually going to be crucial for the in-game if we find ourselves in an in-game that, well, doesn't have a lot of cover. It doesn't have a lot of trees or buildings or otherwise to play around, so watch out for that.
Indeed, Farouk will have his head on a swivel, and as he did have his head on a swivel running across that road, I peeked up the road. I saw one of those Tuscany Torque editions of the Charger SRT Hellcat, and I'm curious to see if that's Farouk's already, or if he's going to go snag that bad boy, take it for a bit of a joyride. Again, got that loot on his mind right now as priority, that 8x scope. That'll come in handy if he's sniping. So far, though, just the AKM and a little DBS action here. So, again, Farouk in loot mode, and I know he's got something to prove. Again, one of the creators that actually hit the track in these vehicles in real life. So, again, excited to see how he does. And, hey, Goj, I'm seeing a Dodge Detour that just popped up.
Dodge Detour, the first one on the day. It looks like you got to equip Dodge skins, okay? So in our first map, all you got to do is equip Dodge skins on the next 3 vehicles you see, all right? So you've got to go equip them as fast as you can to claim that Dodge Detour. And Lance, that's worth 5 points if you're able to do that. Here it is. We're seeing it again on Winsanity's screen, just popped up. They're talking about it. 5 points goes to you and your team if you can equip skins on the next 3 vehicles you see, but you got to do it in that small time limit. So if you can see that, maybe if you're on your mobile device, it's hard to see, but 4 minutes and 45 seconds and counting, all right? That's how long you have to claim this. Otherwise, you've missed out. And you can see the quantity is 16 because, well, as we get into an encounter here, every team has a chance to earn it. You just got to do it in the time limit.
Love it. You can see 16 challenges able to redeem. That's one for every team. And I'm seeing quite a few people in this house, and they do not have the same colors. So it's bound to pop off here any moment. Melissa being awful quiet, and there is a third team. That's Coffee Gaming coming up the hill, but we've got Winsanity, we've got Solara going head-to-head right now. Win Squad is split, and this could be interesting. This is a big fight, Goj.
Yeah, a massive fight. We'll see what Win can do. Or a shotgun reloading. Apparently it's not Win. We'll see. Looks like Payne's got it in hand. Goes down, though. Somehow Master gets the better of him and push the equation. Should get a cleanup there. Another key thing to think about. Winsanity just wasn't close enough to provide some cover. Payne tried to win with the shotgun, but just wasn't enough, Lance. And those are those moments, too, like, if Winsanity's just a bit closer, maybe could provide some covering fire where they don't just clean Payne up immediately. But once you grab the knock, you've got to go for the full elim.
You got to go for it. Secure those bad boys. That's too many points to leave on the table. You can see Bella Fox getting those challenge points logged. Still 14 of them up for grabs, but only just under 3 minutes to go grab those. But no big deal for Prod and his group. He's already got those challenger skins on the vehicle, and the other teams will be trying to follow suit and do just the same.
And I think if I'm Jacob here, I think he's just trying to get a bit of information about where there's some other teams. And of course, you got to have smokes, a key thing. Aside from having your dodge, you got to have some smokes for rotations. Incredibly useful when it comes to the late game. And I think you can hear a little bit of the comms behind us here, Lance.
Let's listen in.
Yeah, I would be curious to listen in as they're racing their dodges.
I'm trading out cars right now.
trading out those vehicles. Look at that.
Check blue houses.
Yeah, I think I was trying to listen in a little bit, and I think they were making sure to grab as many vehicles as they could in order to complete that dodge detour, which is a strong play because, well, 5 points goes a long way. Of course, that's about 2 eliminations and a half, right? 5 points across the board, but 5 points is also the same as it looks like getting 11th place overall. So a sizable amount of points to add to your repertoire. And again, so many different ways to earn points today. You need to take it up, take advantage of it when it pops up. It looks like 4 teams have already claimed those.
There's so many people alive for this.
That's important. Those points will be a big deal. You can see here, Bella Fox already equipped her points, got those claimed up, so it's faded out for her. So again, really like the initiative this team is taking, getting those points on the board. But you got the smokes out, maybe a bit of trouble brewing here. And Bella Fox going to try to win this fight. Already several players wiped out, down to 50 left in this lobby, Coach.
Yeah, Powerbang, here's the question. If you're a team like Her Gaming that's kind of on the outer edges of the zone, what's your strategy here? Because like there's always different ways to you can see Riggs actually just claimed the dodge detour on screen. I love that we get that challenge complete popping up. But you know, when you are playing outer edge, what's your strategy? I mean, information gathering that's kind of where my head goes to.
It's definitely information gathering. It's trying to watch those circles and, again, want to be on the short side of that zone, right, as you get those circles closing. Because, again, if you find yourself on the long side of a hard shift, it is treacherous to try to get in because the blue zone is not your friend and every squad is watching you. So, again, it's trying to circle that zone, stay on that edge, try to kind of wall off behind you to make sure nobody can sneak up on you. But then other than that, it is exactly what you mentioned, which is gathering that information, trying to find the best compound or best hardcover to dive into as the time gets short.
Yeah, it's a great breakdown, and that's exactly what Prod was able to do. It looks like they're inside of zone, they're hanging out, they found a bit of cover, and they're just playing patient here because a lot of teams are going to be rotating in towards them, and if they can pick up some of these teams on rotations, whether those teams are flying in on their Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcats or if they're quite literally running in, either way, they should be able to pick up a couple eliminations if they do this right, and they're going to be sharing loot as well, kind of pre-prep and prepare for everything that is coming their way. But they should be hanging out in that building for quite some time as they're already inside of zone.
That was a whole heck of a lot of loot there, man. They were having a full-blown party, official, with invitations for other squads to show up and crash it. We'll see if anybody does. Coffee Gaming here, again, trying to gather that intel, peeking out the windows, seeing what's what, on the lookout for those dodges on the horizon, and doesn't see anything at the moment. Waffles Gaming getting finished in the kill feed there. Unfortunate for her as they started strong at Milta, but ultimately starting to fizzle out here a bit as we start to hit the halfway mark of this game.
Yeah, and that's the thing about kind of highly aggressive play styles. Like when you're hot dropping with somebody, it looks like our circle has ended up at shooting range. You're hot dropping with somebody, like you can win out that encounter, but you go into the next fight, a couple teams waiting on you there. Maybe you go in, resources down, not a ton of meds. Like sometimes that highly aggressive play style doesn't pay off in terms of placement, but hopefully a few eliminations their way so they can creep up the leaderboard. Coffee here is actually, I was taking a look at the top left-hand corner of our screen. Coffee's actually out. It looks like I think Coffee is just spectating some other teams potentially, or at the very least his teammate. I think he's got 2 up on his team as they're trying to make their way into the kind of upper echelon portion of our leaderboard. Because again, placement points are going to be key today. Placement points start if you get 15th place, you get 1 point, but they really start scaling up, especially, 6th place is 10 points, 5th place, 11 points, and so on and so forth. That chicken dinner, 15 points, will look really, really good on your resume.
Absolutely. Coffee out early along with his teammate Volt, but Quatch and Triggs trying to get it done for them. We'll move over now to the Saurus PG. They are hanging out underground, getting that loot, trying to make sure that they are squared away for the next fight. No eliminations yet for Papa PG, but that's okay. That's okay. It's early still. We do need some meds, though. If we can get some of those for the Saurus, I feel like that would be the play here.
Look, The Dodge Challengers and the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcats, they can do a lot for you. But when you've got little to no health, finally is able to grab some meds. Wow, yeah, I was feeling quite a bit scared, and I think PG was as well. Oh, yeah, they're in a fight from distance. Look at his health right back where it was. Gets shot through the window, but using the vehicle as a bit of cover and some smokes to cover as well, they might be able to get a res here.
You know, that heal was awful clutch. I mean, if he didn't get that one off, he would have been on his knees just like his teammate, and they would have been in a much different position. It looks like Jacob Gaming here, though, putting pressure on them from the berm. I want to go ahead and take a listen in here with Jacob and see how they're strategizing here on this approach.
Are they pushing up to you? Are they going around? Heavy hits. Okay, oh, the smoke's gone. Hey, these guys are getting pushed inside. Good stuff. Is our back clear by the bunker? No ammo, no ammo.
Watch out.
Yeah, I got one. There's one guy. There's a guy here camping. Don't have a shot.
Powerbang, I love these comps. Like, you could hear how crisp they are, how clean they are, even in moments of panic where they're fighting 2 or 3 teams potentially at once here in the edge of zone. They're just calling out what they see, communicating to each other. Hey, no ammo. Hey, have you checked our back? Hey, have you, are the teams pushing over the hill? I love the way this team is playing right now. I think there's a chance they could go all the way, especially with some vehicles in tow to move into the next zone.
You nailed it right there. I was actually marveling at Jacob's cool, calm, and collected demeanor here. They're fighting off 2 squads right now. They've got runners. They've got rabbits trying to get out of there, but at the same time, no stress in the voice. You can just hear them, shouting things out, comment where the locations of the enemies are. And even despite having low ammo and obviously their position is clearly known, they're doing a great job here. So again, Jacob and the squad, good angles here with Laser on that off angle, pushing the action. Hopefully he doesn't get too far separated here, but I like the call here. Jacob's got an opportunity to go all the way.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of terrain to work with here for some cover. I don't mind their spot, but again, you're going to have to rotate in. You can see which team is holding it. It's Meatball and his teammate in the best position to hold both of these 2 teams, Mortal and Jacob's squad, moving in. Now, they're electing to go ahead and move up a little bit further and potentially use the vehicle and some of the smokes as cover, which I like. I think you hang out here the entire time. You just got to be aware that once you find a couple of elims here on the edge of zone holding these teams rotating in, you're likely going to be held as well. There's going to be a team behind you, and I think that's now what they're a little bit worried about.
Absolutely. We talked a little bit earlier about what is the strategy edging into the circle, and we talked about not getting caught on the long side of the circle. That is exactly what's going on right now with Jacob as well as Mortal down there on the right-hand side of your screen. They are trying desperately to get to zone. You saw Laser go ahead first from Jacob's squad, secure that area, and now it's just a matter of trying to get in the blue zone. As we mentioned, not your friend, and Hurt Gaming finding that out firsthand here as they do not make it to the circle, which is unfortunately an early end for them in this game.
Yeah, Meatball's going to try to eke their way in, but it's going to be very difficult to do so, looking for a few meds along the way. Riggs saying, there's no way, there's not enough meds. The Papa Blues taking us down. And we have made it to the top 10. I think that was Riggs that got 10th place overall. And again, that's 6 points added to the leaderboard, so not bad, certainly, but would like to go a little bit further. And it looks like Solara able to spectate her teammate currently because she is down. A nice nade from distance, cleans up another. Solara down for the count, but teammates doing very, very well here on edge of zone.
I love her expression there. That was hilarious. And I got to point out, I really like her position there on the edge of zone, so not quite in the circle, but they've got that trench where people really have to walk all the way up to the lip and look down into it in order to actually get some shots in on them. So I like their position. Got to be one of the favorites here as the circles move on. Again, we're down to just 12 players remaining on this map, Goj. We are in crunch time. Who is going to clutch it up?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I don't mind this spot as well. Only 2 players, and when we talk about in-circle, we talk about player advantage. That's going to be key, because if you've got 2, 3, 4 players potentially all still alive on your team, you're going to have a massive advantage going into this final fight. You can see Sucky here off screen finding an elimination on one of the teams we highlighted. It was Crossaw that went down. Fish, our map creator, alive but barely breathing, flying around the map. And I think a buggy, so not a ton of cover. But I think this Solara team could go all the way here, Lance.
We got 6 kills, though.
Again, I like the position, and I think it's hilarious. She's sitting here, has already been wiped, and she's just like, listen, they're carrying me. They got this, so she's got the confidence in the team, and let's see if they can lead her to the promised land.
All right, well, here we go. Powerbang, the final couple teams, 10 players remaining and 5 teams. This means on average, every team will have 2. Some teams might be pulling that average one way or the other. The kind of same kind of flow that I'm seeing team to team is that our content creators getting carried. But here's a fight. We've got Solara's squad in a great position, looking to find potentially a revive after grabbing a knock, a huge play. I still think Solara's probably in the best position. You can see Farouk also spectating their team. And it's Didi still alive, trying to serve some subpoenas or otherwise. They're going to hop in their dodge, and they're going to move to the next area of zone that they could potentially hold and maybe just fly straight through the smoke. I don't know, but they've got a little bit of cover. Using the dodge as cover is what we were talking about before. This is crucial in these final couple circles. Really excited to see who could win it all here. Bella Fox is cheering on her team, but not able to do it, albeit seemingly a pretty good standing. Only 5 players remaining, I believe, overall. Powerbang, I don't know if you know who's going to win this, but Didi is looking really good.
Didi looking great right now. And again, Solara super happy with her team. Literally one of just a few teams remaining here. We're down to 5 players, and they've got the position they have for a while now. And we'll see if they can take this to the bank and get that chicken dinner, trying to get served up a chicken dinner. Oh, but player goes down.
I think they had 7 eliminations as well, which is crazy. But your map winner is Team Solara. Went down, but got the trade, and that's what I was talking about, Powerbang. When you got 2 players left alive against the solo, you get a massive advantage. They push the fight, they push the equation, they use the dodges cover, and then the other team hiding behind one of their dodges. It's just, you just got a full send at that point, Powerbang. A really impressive gameplay, and if you think about the leaderboard, those points are going to go crazy. I think just one of those players had 7 eliminations overall. That's 14 points, plus your 15 points from the chicken dinner. A massive game 1 for Team Solara.
Absolutely huge from Team Solara. Don't forget the dodge detour points if they were able to rack up any of those. Obviously, we'll bring you all the scores here in just a moment. But I gotta say, Goj, the way they found that trench, dug in, it reminded me of some, like, you know, ancient warfare strategies where they're getting in their trench and their foxholes, and they fought it out there huge. So let's take a look at some replays here from this first game.
Yeah, I think as we walk back through some of these, obviously we're able to showcase our Dodge Charger SRT Hellcats, our Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcats, and of course you had to change the skins, but some of these fights were so key to a lot of these teams' success, because if you can't clear out some of your early rotations and you kind of get hamstrung or stuck in this kind of quagmire on the outside of zone, having to rotate in that far is going to put you at a disadvantage against teams that maybe are already in zone and waiting. And I don't think the Source PG could get anything going. My goodness, every single time we tuned into their perspective, something was going totally wrong.
Damn. The Dodge Hellfire raining down on them there. You can see them stuck inside of the shack, and that was unfortunate for them. They'll have to run it back here on Miramar in just a bit, but Solara gotta be happy with the community members that made it through to these finals and have squatted up with her, because they are looking sharp so far. Off to a nice start here on Erangel.
Yeah, and I'm impressed with that gameplay. I'm excited to see who can kind of replicate that gameplay going into the second map. Again, we're going to Miramar next, and Powerbang, this is where it's going to get spicy. You know what team we basically didn't see? I was shouting at Winsanity. He was shouting at himself. He said, I'm going to win every map. We're going to come out on top. I don't know if we saw him maybe more than once at the very beginning of the game. I don't know what went wrong for that team, but they're going to have to bring it back in Miramar.
That's true. It looks like they got into it with Solara at one of the houses. Remember, their squad got split 2 and 2. 2 of them were in the house going up against Solara. You saw Coffee Gaming zoom by. So again, they just got pinched out in the open, out of position. Gonna have to clean things up in this second match if they want to get back into it.
Yeah, and Powerbang, talk to me a little bit about Miramar, the differences between Miramar and Erangel. Obviously, Erangel, been around for a very long time. Miramar as well, though, and a lot of these players have a ton of experience on Miramar. I want you to break that down for me, but first, we got to take a look at the leaderboard because it's time. We got to see where these teams lined out. This is where it's going to get crazy, and that's what I thought. Ridiculous numbers at the top. Look at Team Solara already, 37 points. And Lance, if I'm seeing that correctly, they didn't even get the Dodge Detour, and they're still on top by 11 points over Team Bella Fox.
Hey, they don't need Dodge Detours. Look at them go, getting all them elims, winning the chicken dinner. Team Solara coming out, firing. They'll have to continue to do that on Miramar coming up next. But what I'm seeing here is the girls rule. They are on top, 1 and 2. Bella Fox coming in second place here. Metalcore, as you highlighted a bit earlier, also sneaking into third place. We got Riggs and Farouk rounding out our top 5. But we're just getting started here in this tournament. Goj, we've got the Muscle Car Madness Grand Finals. So much more to come. Miramar coming up next. And I want to talk a bit about Miramar since you asked me that question. What is different? And I will say, first and foremost, it's the car's top speed, right? There's a lot more open ground that the Dodge Chargers and Challenger SRT Hellcat editions can really stretch out and let those engines roar. So that's the primary difference. But other than that, we got a lot more open sight lines, a lot more opportunity to get caught on rotation. But again, all of the little berms and natural dips in the terrain will lend itself to some play out in the open as well, whereas Erangel is a lot more compound-based.
Yeah, and it's even more important than to have your Dodge Challengers and Charger SRT Hellcats to be able to use them for cover. I mean, we talk about the speed of those vehicles all the time, but you've got to use these vehicles for cover, especially when it comes to the end game. You saw how important it was for Team Bella Fox, I think, who got second overall. They were down in player numbers. I think they were down on resources. I think there was only 1 or 2 alive pretty much the entirety of that final circle, but they used that Dodge as cover when there was no cover around them. It forced them to kind of hunker down and hold out a position, but it worked out perfectly for them. They were able to clear their back, hung out there, got second place, and then second overall. And as we were looking at that leaderboard, Lance, Powerbang, I also noticed that, yes, there was 11 points separating first and second place. There was 11 points separating second place and 12th place, all the way down to 12th. A massive spread of teams that are all very, very close to each other on the leaderboard, but it's Team Solara really pushing up beyond everybody else thus far.
You know, I couldn't agree more. The middle of this pack, ultra tight. Literally could go any which way, so it's all about who shows up and shows out here coming up next. But I gotta say, Goj, a little disappointed in this first game. We didn't see our new tactical gunpowder tool in use. I want to see that in Miramar. Somebody please pick it up, get a crossbow, get that new tactical gunpowder tool, and start blowing things up. That's a plea from Powerbang. Make it happen, creators. I want to see it. Let's make some content.
Yeah, the creators are going to need to step it up because we love watching their perspectives. They're fantastic players in their own right and make some amazing content. But our community qualifier players were really hard carrying. I mean, I don't know if I saw a single content creator alive in the final circle, so I think hopefully Miramar will go their way, maybe a bit more accustomed to their playstyle. We will see. But yeah, I also want to hear, if you're maybe in some of our live stream chats, talk to me about the AUG, because I know as we were looking at some of the pre-roll content, it was kind of comparing the AUG versus the M4, right? M4, one of the kind of primary weapons that have been used time and time again, is the primary AR of choice. But AUG now on the map, I mean, Powerbang, we were talking a little bit before the broadcast. You're saying you might even prefer the AUG over the M4.
For me, it's a rate of fire thing with the AUG. I will say that the M416 has long been the go-to weapon, the default, right? The preferred favorite for PUBG Mobile enthusiasts. It's been the gun on the battlegrounds forever. And I like the fact that with this last little balance change, we're taking the AUG out of the crates, right? You got to go to the supply drop to get it before. No longer is that fully required. So now you can find this weapon anywhere on the battlegrounds. And again, I haven't fully put it through its paces side by side with the M4 just yet, but I know I liked it before quite a bit. And for me, it was like a little bit slower rate of fire, it felt like. I don't know, something about the feel of a gun. Do you get that, Coach, when you play games?
Yeah.
It's like it feels a certain way to you, even if it's like the stats don't line up with the way you feel. That's kind of how I always felt about the AUG.
No, I love that breakdown. We call that in the business here, Powerbang, we call that comfort picks. You've got to pick your comfort weapon of choice. If you feel most comfortable with a weapon, you've got to use it, which means probably primarily a lot of these players going to stick to that M4, right? They've been using it for who knows how long, a very, very solid weapon choice. But if you are comfortable with the AUG, if you feel like you just like the fire rate a little bit better or something like that, maybe it's a little less forgiving with the amount of bullets that it throws down range, but maybe you could be a little bit more efficient because of that. Whatever it is, pick your comfort pick, and excited to see what the comfort picks for some of these players will be, and if they use the new explosive round, because I gotta see some clips of some crossbows, Powerbang.
We'll make some clips. I'm confident, Coach.
I'm yearning for it.
We're gonna make some clips for sure. You mentioned comfort picks. For me, that resonated so hard. Another one of my comfort picks. It's a weapon that before I would use even before they buffed it, and that's the Ace 32. 2.8 update has seen that had a decrease in recoil, and I will say I already liked it before. When comparing that with the AKM or the M762, I would go with the Ace 32 regardless. So now that it has even less recoil and a better spray pattern, dude, sign me up. Give me that Ace 32 all day long, baby. I'm so excited to use that one.
Yeah, that's a great shout. Well, I want to take a moment here to remind everybody about the Dodge collaboration. If you didn't know, Dodge makes muscle and isn't afraid to flex it every chance they can get. You've seen the speed of these vehicles in game. You got to go check it out. The Dodge collaboration is available now until November 6th in game. Make sure of course, you got to download PUBG Mobile on iOS or Android Google Play stores to get involved. But I'm sure a lot of you at home have already downloaded it. Go get involved in game. It is live until November 6th to get these Hellcats. So excited to see all the different skins today. We saw Fuchsia for a little bit, but I think, and I was going to say the same, I think that jailbreak on the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat with the flames is probably the primary option that a lot of these players are using.
It just screams American muscle like the brand is known for. And I will say one thing that is not known for is being cute, Goj. That's one thing.
That's right.
You're in the notes. They're not cute, man. They're strong, they're mean, and they're coming for you. And I'm so excited to see these creators, again, get behind the wheel. This next map on Miramar, again, let's get some predictions now that we've got one match to kind of see who's who, Goj. I want to come to you, my friend. Who are you thinking is going to take home the whole thing here after this first game you've had a chance to witness?
I think the teams at the top are looking really good. They're going to carry the momentum into Miramar. And I think Bella Fox, you were talking about sightlines. Bella Fox, known as the sniper queen. Like, if she's hitting, her team's hitting, they could go big here in the second map and potentially take over first place and have the battle of the queens, as it were, at the top, potentially going into some of our racing maps that are coming up down the line for the third and fourth and fifth rounds through World of Wonder. So if they could do that well and then race well, I think you could see maybe Bella Fox taking it all here.
I've got one word for you before we get to our game. That's Jacob. Jacob is my one word.
Okay. Jacob Gaming, the boat gang on top. I gotta say, Powerbang, I'm pretty sure that every PUBG Mobile event that I've ever been a part of, I was kind of backing the boat gang, and the boat gang always comes through. So I honestly, a great shout. It's time to get into the game. It's time to get into Miramar. Let's see what these teams are able to do. Boat Gang, Sniper Queen, or maybe somebody completely different. We'll see. Winsanity, I'm looking at you. Step up. It's time. Let's take a look at Miramar here, Powerbang.
Absolutely. The plane path coming in from the northeast here. A lot of teams out early once again. I'm actually surprised by this, especially on Miramar, because, again, there is not much up there. Torre Ahumada, Campo Militar, there's a lot of stuff, but you got to think that El Azahar is going to be a popular destination up in the northeast, but there are far more people out of this plane than I expected at this point in the game.
Yeah, and you know, you talk about kind of team chemistry and some of these teams potentially even practicing. I mean, they only got their teams, I think, a day or two ago after the qualifiers were finished, so maybe not a ton of time to practice. But a team like Winsanity, you know, I'll keep shouting him out. They've got some pre-built chemistry with him and Pokey, so there's a chance maybe they've definitely played Miramar together. There's a chance they've got a favorite drop spot as well. So again, we talk about comfort picks, Powerbang. They might just pick their comfort pick here because they know the spot, they know they can win that drop spot, and it'll set them up for success success. The worst case scenario is that you go down really early and you can't do anything about it.
Yes.
I did see Quan Deadshot. I think the only team dropping on the north, I think it's northwest side of the map. I saw the only team even in the north side of the map, period, potentially.
You know, it's a great point. We'll see how it shakes out on the rotate, but I like the call of Bella Fox Gaming. I saw them land at Hacienda del Patron, and that is my favorite drop spot. So not only are they listed first on all the team listings, but they dropped my favorite drop spot, got second overall right now. Goj, I'm liking the pick, my friend. You are sitting good over there. Got our eyes on Bushka now as well as he's cruising around the map, checking things out, doing a little off-roading here. Love to see it. But they are already on the rotate, which to me, Goj, is, I don't know if that's a great thing at this stage of the game because they don't have much loot. Come on, let's be real. They probably got a pistol, maybe some fists, maybe the new dagger.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great shot. And that's what we talked about in the early game, is that you got to find good loot in order to kind of engage in some early combat, which is where you can find a sizable amount of points. Now, we've been talking about the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat, the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. You know what we really haven't talked a lot about? We haven't talked about the Dodge Hornet, right? Our third vehicle of choice here. You've got that Sunburst was that orange skin that you saw there, so we'll continue to shout that one out as well. Look, you know, a great vehicle. So maybe some people think the Challenger, the Charger's got a little bit more oomph, but everybody's got their preference when it comes to vehicles.
Absolutely. I'm still sticking with my Charger call out from earlier. I will take the Charger SRT Hellcat version any day of the week. I don't know what color I would go with, but let's just call it jailbreak. Let's go with that. We are riding along right now, though, with Rolex. We're taking a peek at his team over here. They're getting that loot going on, and I still like Rolex. They're at, I believe, Chumacera here. Definitely got to be one of the favorites here on Miramar. They got some gunners.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, if you can kind of like isolate some of the strengths of your teammates, you know, team chemistry is everything. We talk about that all the time in tournaments like this, and when you're kind of paired with random teammates that came through qualifiers, it can be difficult to find team chemistry. But if you can say, hey, I'm really good at X, I'm really good in, you know, close range encounters, for instance, right? Which could be sometimes pretty difficult, especially if you're not using a shotgun. It's, you know, put you on the front lines. You're the entry person. Like, you're running through the doors. You're you know, blasting through the second floor space that potentially has 3 players in it. Maybe you're the great grenade thrower. So we isolate resources over to your side, and you're able to throw all the grenades through the windows. I've already seen a couple of those today already, and I know a lot of these players are really good at that. So those are some of the fun conversations these teams are kind of having on the back end as a kind of peek behind the curtain.
Thank you for peeling back that curtain, Goj. I've always been curious what it's like in a game of PUBG Mobile. I'm peeking along here with her gaming. Yeah. She's a bit of an underdog here, I feel like. She's got some tremendous skills. And she is always eager to put those to use. A little bit inconsistent on the play, though, sometimes. Sometimes the opponent will get the jump on her, but other times she just goes absolutely nutty. You'll see those clips over on her social media, so check her out at Her Gaming. Excited to see if she goes ham here tonight.
That's a great shot. We've got, of course, we're live on PUBG Mobile socials all over the place, but all of our creators are obviously live as well. Go check them out. We've got a total of 16 creators competing today. Bella Fox, Her Gaming, or otherwise, and our 17th creator, Powerbang. I believe we're live on your channel as well. So hey to Powerbang's chat. Thanks for tuning in.
Ooh, yes. That's even
Indeed. Love you guys over at the Banger Nation. Thanks for the support. And we have ourselves maybe some action here. I hear some gunshots in the distance. It looks like they still are a bit distant, but we do have Her Gaming and Farouk Ahmad squaring off here, and they are in El Azahar. Again, we saw all of those teams drop early on. A couple of them peeled off, but what remains is the remnants here of Her Gaming and Farouk Ahmad. Only 57 players left in the lobby, so a bit of clashing has happened already.
It looks like Farouk has got an angle from distance, trying to connect and potentially just deplete resources, if not grab a knock. And, you know, this is kind of that patient play style where you're just kind of biding your time, playing patient, trying to figure out, you know, what it looks like to push this fight. Because you don't want to be this, like, hyper-aggressive team that just flies at the other squad. You're likely going to get picked off if they're holding angles like Farouk was a moment ago. But if you are able to get a knock, that's usually the signal flare to say, let's move. Everybody move in. We've got player advantage. Let's push the fight and let's win the fight. So we can grab, potentially, if you get a full team wipe, Powerbang. That's that's 8 points added to your leaderboard. There's some teams on our leaderboard that don't even have 8 points yet.
They need it. They need it indeed. I want to see Her Gaming pick up those points here and join her her girlfriends at the top of the standings right now. I want to see a girl-dominated event is what I'm really hoping for here. Again, Solara and Bella Fox have shown out in the first game, and we're off to some hot starts here in game number 2 as we take a peek over to Prod and his squad. Prod has fallen into a hole, but luckily it's filled with a lot of weapons and, supplies.
Yeah. It's always scary. Fall damage can go crazy, but it's got a bunch of weapons. Definitely worthwhile to loot around. And again, I think just trying to grab as much resources as possible. Obviously, you can upgrade backpacks, armor, and everything in between. Everybody knows that. But I think the key loot that a lot of people sometimes don't think about, especially in a competitive sense, you've got to find smokes. Like, obviously, you get your meds so you can outrun, blue and be okay in the zone. But if you don't have smokes for end to end middle game, you're going to be really in trouble. Even if you do have some of those dodge vehicles, smokes are going to be key to help you rotate and not get picked off in the process.
Hey, Goj, you know what I saw on Prod's back?
Yeah, go grab that.
What'd you see?
I saw a crossbow.
Oh,
he's gearing up. He's gearing up. He's going to be making some tactical explosions here in just a bit. I have all the faith in the world that Prod's going to hook it up and treat you guys to some glorious fireworks.
Yeah, again, that tactical gunpowder tool is why I'm so excited about the crossbow. I love the crossbow in general, but you add that tactical gunpowder tool, and you're going to be feeling fantastic, especially if you can connect and get the instant explosion. Prod Gaming, maybe my new favorite, just because of that. We'll see. Only time will tell. Needs to connect for it on main stage, though.
If there's anyone to do it, I will say that it's got to be Prod, man. He has hit some ridiculous crossbow shots in the past on our community broadcast. I believe he had 2 or 3 in one game here at a recent event. So, again, he is the man you want to have that crossbow in his hands. Very excited to see what he does with it here. And rewinding in my head just a little bit, when Prod fell in that hole, was that the weirdest bullfighting ring you've ever seen in your life?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't get it out of my head.
Yeah, certainly one way to think about it. But as we swap over to the Thesaurus PG, and now we're looking at Dodge Challenger, SRT Hellcat, and I believe, this is the Blaze skin. So one we really haven't seen on broadcast. This is probably up there with one of my favorite skins. Sure, I like the jailbreak, but the Blaze is just so clean. Like, definitely something that I'd like in IRL.
Yeah.
Check it out. Coffee's doing donuts right now with the Dodge Hornet, and that is your Dodge Detour challenge completed. They were fortunate enough to be sitting in it as the challenge popped up. They are spinning donuts in that Dodge Hornet. So nice work to them. Dab Plays also getting it done as well. You can see those guys completing their challenges on screen right now.
Yeah, this is key because, again, a lot of these players have been using the Challenger SRT Hellcats. A lot of these players have been using the Charger SRT Hellcats. Not everybody's been using the Hornets, right? And so if you don't have at least one person on your team using the Hornet, you're not going to be able to complete some of these challenges. So you got to really think about variety because these players don't know the challenges beforehand, these Dodge Detours, but it looks like several players are thinking in that exact same mindset. We already have 6 different teams that have executed on the Dodge Hornet Donuts, which means they're all grabbing 5 extra points to the leaderboard.
You crossed it off? I crossed it off.
These points are going to come in absolutely clutch. You saw the 12-point margin or 11-point margin, I believe you said, between first and second, and then 12th in the rest. So that is an interesting way to make up that gap, is by spinning donuts in a Dodge Hornet. That'll chip away a big part of that gap. But again, the middle of the pack separated by just a few points, and those points are going to be so crucial. So again, if you haven't got a Hornet, you better pick one up and start spinning donuts in your Dodge.
Oh, heck.
And we had a chance to see, and we're going to see it here shortly, some of our IRL racing content, but in-game, a lot of people say Dab Plays might be one of the best drivers, but he's got to showcase it here in the Hornet because getting shot from distance and potentially losing his teammates in the process, but did acquire some high ground. Connect some shots from distance with the M16 would be feeling fantastic. Likely will lose Deuce here in it. Oh, is it Win shooting back? Or is this a different fight? I can't tell. Regardless, you were right about these long sight lines. I've seen Miramar, and as we're seeing it again on main stage, yeah, this is quite long sight lines. We're looking at you know, pick up a sniper, pick up an M16. Maybe you could shoot that with an AK or SCAR, but it's gonna be difficult to hit more than 1 or 2 shots every once in a while.
Ben, where are you going?
We got Bella Fox is the object of Wynn's desire right now as far as knocking her down on the battlegrounds. Long shots, though, to ask of that AKM. Maybe you should try out new Ace 32. I hear there's less recoil. So, again, Dab Plays said he wasn't going to get shot out of his vehicle again, but unfortunately for him, his teammate did. So here they are in the exact same position 2 games in a row.
Dude, I'm 1 shot. Oh, this is so close. He's just far enough away where if the vehicle's exploded, he won't go down. I think he gets the revive off, but it's got to be in trouble. I saw a smoke go out. He was trying to cover the advances as well. It was quite literally 1 shot. Ridiculous, but see what her gaming can do. Trying to provide, it looks like maybe a bit of covering fire for her teammate across the way. I don't know. She's got fantastic eyes apparently, because I could not see.
Yeah.
I was in my monitor trying to see that speck from so far away. That was impressive.
Well, sometimes you just got that ultra instinct, you know? You just know it's there. You got to put some shots down range, even if it's just a hunch sometime. But I think her gaming has got the wrong idea here, headed into the blue zone. This is not where you keep your health. But again, nice job going around the hillside here to avoid some of those shots. In all seriousness, going to pick up the teammate, perhaps? Maybe?
Yeah, sure.
We'll see. Maybe just take a bunch of damage, too. That could be the move.
Yeah, I think they're just making sure that they wouldn't get shot and then trying to pick up the teammate. They're running away. A little bit of communication error. That's part of it, right? You're playing with new players. Maybe you've never played with before. Likely you've never played with before. They went through the qualifiers,
If
but
they don't know you're here, don't
speaking of the fight on hand, Riggs trying to IGL. It looks like only one player left alive on his team, and this is a great shout from Riggs. He's saying, don't take a shot, you'll be dead. But getting shot from behind, pinched by 2 different teams, Powerbang. Riggs' team has been fully eliminated.
It's not what they were hoping for, but again, on the delivering end of that blow, Team Bella Fox Gaming, they are off to a rockin' start here. And again, you kind of called this one. You were expecting big things from Bella Fox and the gang here, and she's delivering so far. Still in it, and the team looking awful strong. I don't know if I can say the same for the Source PG. Again, crawling around here and staring at an enemy who is on his flank. This is tough.
Oh, no. I just gotta say, I love the Source PG. Incredible content creator. This tournament, not going his way, Powerbang. Every time we swap to his perspective, my man has been in trouble. So, the Source may be down. Dab somehow still alive. Nope, just kidding. Just for a second was alive. Trying to drive away and couldn't do it. Out of here, but really fought his life very, very well. The fact that he even had a second there where he was still alive after the last encounter we saw was pretty impressive.
Is going down the road.
You know, we saw a quick glimpse of the map there for a moment from Winsanity's point of view, and I will say the center of this zone is centering up almost exactly where all of those squads went early on. So there's a chance that some of those early jumpers to El Azahar haven't had to move a whole heck of a lot at all. So as long as they've been able to kind of hold home court, so to speak, and defend their turf, they're probably looking pretty good at this point. And somebody who is looking pretty good, once again, Farouk Ahmad, still in it with a full squad in this one.
That's a great breakdown, and it's good to see Winsanity still alive as well. Several teams still up, so 45 alive, so plenty of teams here still up and breathing, but the question is how long. We're about to kind of get into what I call kind of the late mid game, where you've got a little bit more time to set up some of your spots. You pick your spots in your zone, you kind of then bunker down, grab your vehicles, provide yourself some cover, find some hills to utilize, and we swap back to win. This is what I'm talking about. Try to pick up some eliminations if you can, but you gotta go set up for zone, and that's exactly what he just said. He's gonna go grab his Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. He's got the lime skin on, and he's gonna rotate to the next zone for sure. And they gotta maybe work together here because there's already gonna be some teams there.
That lime's looking hot. Those red calipers to boot. So yeah, you can see We kind of highlighted it on the way in. We talked a little bit about Miramar, some of the things to look out for. One of those was, again, fighting out in the open, using the terrain. You can see these guys using these like ridges and embankments to fight behind. It's been happening the entire map so far. I don't know that we've seen an actual compound fight. Maybe as the circle closes, we will, but where they're at on the map is actually quite a challenge to find some cover. Problem being now, though, with Win getting out of the vehicle, his car is getting pinged from distance pretty badly. He's lost a couple of tires here, and this is going to make the rotation very difficult.
Yeah, vehicles are key, but going to have to do it on foot this time around. We will see. And I think we're going to check out Bella again. Man, Powerbang. I mean, they're looking great. They're on edge of zone. They've got a position with a sizable amount of cover. They've got, I think, several different vehicles. We don't love the buggy, but we do have a couple of Dodge vehicles as well for cover. And all 4 are alive. Now, you can say the exact same about Farouk. So these two teams looking very, very solid. And speaking of high ground, my goodness, Farouk is he's looking for anyone and everyone rotating in from this side of the map.
I was just about to issue you another pop quiz. Do you know what this is? Yeah, this is high ground. This is way up on a perch, and this is a perfect spot, I will say, for that tactical gunpowder tool. Imagine if you had a crossbow up there. You could rain down some serious terror on people. That would be incredible to see. I don't know if Farouk has one equipped, but they definitely have their heads on swivels, vision looking at the horizon there. You can see those Hornets on rotation. And again, I can't tell who that is. Could be Bella Fox. And nope, Bella's on the other side of the circle. So we'll see who is coming in. But they're an awful long way away. 400-plus meters on that rotation. They should be able to squeak in safely.
Yeah, he's right.
Looks like when Sanity's team is about to lose Pain, but
You gotta come.
Pokey and A still alive.
I'll cover.
On edge of zone. And I think, yeah, Pain is gone, but there is a team out in the blue. They should be able to hold this no problem and probably pick up a couple points as well. This could be a pretty key fight for them before they rotate to the next zone.
Safe Pokey because there's a UAV in here.
Yeah, speaking of rotation, they've got 90 seconds right now to basically handle this fight or disengage. They got to be careful not to commit and get stuck in the open with a player knocked, weakening their overall strength. They've already got one player down. They do not want to lose more here. So again, they've got to figure things out and what they want to do pretty quickly because they are going to have to prioritize circle here sooner rather than later.
It's in zone. It's a compound.
Yeah, they spotted one. Spotted one vehicle, I believe, that was able to rotate out on the right-hand side, or rather left side, looking at it. But they might think there maybe is one more there. Somebody pushing Bushka, though, and Bushka wins the encounter. Massive fight there. It looks like maybe just a solo that they were able to eliminate. So quick solo loot. They're going to grab that loot, move on their merry way into zone. Also a team not currently in zone, so they're going to have to make sure they're getting safe as quickly as they can after they grab all the meds and smokes and everything else they need. See the rapid looting as they then head over to potentially their vehicles to get into zone. No, Bella Fox in trouble! Teammates in trouble! We'll see if Bella can get back on her feet, though.
She's fine. She's just doing a little sniping. You notice only one round left in that M24 mag. We'll get that clip, put it back, and she's going to send those shots down range. She's got the confidence. I know she'll be back out there. No problem. Maybe they'll rotate without her, though, and leave her here to snipe from distance. We'll see. We'll see. I will say, though, Bushka found a dirty camper. That's what they call that, hiding in a corner there. Glad he was able to get some momentum going and clean up. And now we've got some smokes blocking vision here, and it looks like Chiffon's not super concerned about being able to see. He's going to lob some lead into that pack anyways. And if there's one end of a rifle you do not want to be on the receiving end of, Chiffon's got to be at the top of the list in this lobby.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. There's so many creators we can highlight, and the fact that we didn't talk about Chiffon at the top of the show is probably criminal. I mean, talk about an absolute slayer, a team that could be near solo carried, but you don't have to because he's got fantastic comm to boot. Now they're pushing this fight as well. Heard some comms kind of flying back and forth. They want to win this one. Looks like a nade here on left side should be able to zone off the player, so they know they're going to push right. Chiffon might have an opening angle, but is having to kind of play from the backside. Doesn't want to get too aggressive here, down on a little bit of some health.
We have to push.
Man, their circle shift is pretty brutal. It's going all the way to the west of that safe area. Gonna be some hard shifts for people, and we saw Win get eliminated here just a moment ago, so the team did not get to zone, as we were saying they must get to. Got caught out a little bit. That is okay. We're now checking out Chiffon here, as they're gonna try to make quick work of this opposing team, but he's got a teammate down on the flank, and that is not the person you want to go down. That person holding the off angle. Looks like Optimistic has got to try to get that revive, and hopefully Chiffon's able to deliver here.
Excited to see if Chiffon can win that fight, but checking in with Win's team, you're right, you called it. We saw Payne go down, but Win also got taken out in the rotation, and now they're in trouble. And this is what we talk about playing edge of zone. It's great to find eliminations. Hopefully your team has more than just one that was shown on screen, but you've got to get to the next zone and hope you don't run into 3-4 teams that have been there for 4 or 5 minutes, right? So there's so many different kind of contrasting strategies. All can work. You just have to be able to execute them, and Win Sanity's team in trouble. But Farouk's squad looking pretty solid yet again. We've got a nice players spread, all, I believe, up besides maybe one. Bella Fox restabilized and continuing to stay into the action.
I really like Farouk's spot. They got that north side there, just north of Minas Generales, and it's one of the only compounds and buildings in the safe circle right now. So they've got it at their disposal, and it's up to them to kind of defend right now. So we'll see if they stay put. Not have to get into it like Bella Fox is having to do. But the good thing about Bella Fox is they still have all 4 players alive, and they're starting to stack some eliminations on her squad as well. We'll obviously have the full tally at the end of the match. But again, I see them working out there. They're doing pretty freaking good.
Oh, well, look who's not doing great. Bushka not happy about that one. Maybe hopped out of that Dodge Hornet just a hair too early. Maybe should have driven up to the wall and potentially use it for cover, but maybe was just trying to sneak out early to get to the wall and play the wall. Unfortunately, goes down in the process. Bella Fox's team, though, a great spot. They're not technically in zone, but they're going to be able to find a ton of eliminations, as several teams are all doing the Bushka strategy of maybe flying at walls, flying at cover here on edge of circle, rotating in. Massive moment to pick up a ton of points. Again, every elimination is 2 points. So any points here are going to go huge on your leaderboard, especially as you're racking up those placement points still alive.
This is a really tough circle for anyone that's not currently down in the lowlands. You can see here, we take a peek over at Chiffon down below, which obviously, intuitively, you want the high ground, right? You want to be up top with that vision and those angles, but also it is going to be difficult for any of the teams not currently down here to make the track, because they've got to come down the mountain. Got to show themselves, like, not just like, you know, head and shoulders peeking. We're talking full-on gorilla peeking, feet, toes, all of it visible, Goj, and that's going to be a challenging way to try to get into this final circle.
Yeah, I love that breakdown, and you can see Lucky goes down. Sky's going to be the last one remaining on that squad, trying to find a couple eliminations here. It's getting chaotic. The circle is small. Do you have your nades? Do you have your smokes? Losing teammates left and right. Use your vehicle for cover and everything else you can find, but Farouk's team standing against the fight, and he goes and wins it. 1 HP in a dream. He's going to throw as many meds in as possible while his teammate's carrying. His teammate goes down. Farouk in trouble. 1 bullet. No, he's going to use a vehicle.
No!
Farouk somehow, the do-si-do, hops in the driver's seat, switches to the passenger seat, and grabs the elimination. Points to his head because that was a big brain play. Unreal.
Thank you.
That was 900 IQ, Farouk. I didn't know he had that in him, Goj. That was incredible. He was down to 1 HP, couldn't even get off a bandage before he got flanked and pushed by the enemy, and somehow, some way, able to get out of that, like, desperate position, get to the other side of the vehicle, and drop that body. That was absolutely incredible work there by Farouk. He knows it, too.
Yeah, he was excited about that play and got the revive on his teammate. Ridiculous. I hope it pays off for him. I want to see Farouk win it all there. That's a clip for the timeline. That was foul. And I know these players do something like that in pubs all the time, in the kind of the public lobbies. To do it in a tournament like this, in the in circle of map 2, ridiculous. But We'll see if they can win it. They still have 3 up Powerbang. They definitely have a massive advantage over, I think, the other 5 players that are remaining.
Let's smoke.
You gotta wonder what that opponent was thinking of Farouk just now. Like, I mean, you gotta think, oh, he's one shot, he pushes. And to have it end like that, you're right, that was foul. It was uncalled for, it was filthy, and they're out for redemption right now. Farouk gets dropped with the grenade, and as quickly as it was getting started, it ends for Farouk, but I do believe he's got one teammate left up to try to make the difference.
Oh my goodness. Bella Fox's team, I believe on screen. She's down, but her teammates are frying out in the open. A chance to win it. A chance to make me the prediction god. Baby! Powerbang. Bella Fox has done it, but most importantly, so have I.
Team Bella Fox coming through in the clutch. The grenade at the end sinks the ship of Farouk Ahmad. And despite such a clutch play, Bella Fox walking away with the dub here and already sitting in second place, Coach. You gotta know she's feeling really good right now.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, right? Like, we saw Bella Fox on main stage quite a bit, and I was shouting out, of course, she's known as kind of this sniper queen, but overall, the team chemistry is what's been so impressive to me, right? Their team's ability to play together as a unit was incredible.
It really was. Really, a lot of teams right now starting to gel a little bit. And again, Farouk, I wish he would have caught a little bit of momentum there at the end and been able to escape, because that was one of the better plays I have seen in my days as a caster and commentator in PUBG Mobile. And Farouk Ahmad delivers here. They got to be happy with the placement, though, Goj, as well, because, again, getting high up on these leaderboards, maybe finishing up some points on the Dodge Detour, they've got to be looking okay, at least for this Miramar game. Obviously, we'll have to check in on the standings here in just a moment.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see where the leaderboard shakes out. I'm excited to see what these teams were able to do. I'm excited to see potentially Winsanity's team jump the leaderboard. Farouk's play, a legendary play, but the big question is, where are they going to find themselves on the leaderboard? It's going to be fun to see. Now, before we get into that leaderboard, I know the admins are doing the math behind the scenes here, Powerbang. What I'm excited about, too, is what's coming up, right? We're going to World of Wonder next. We're going to see some Dodge official collaboration race maps, and our creators are going to have to do some racing in-game, and we're going to have a chance to see some of the IRL racing content they were able to do before even this show happened.
Absolutely. We'll check that out here in just a moment. But first, the highlights from match number 2. Miramar action kicked off early with donuts. The Dodge Hornet spinning in circles in the desert. That's what we love to see. And Dab plays while he tried to drive by there. Unfortunately, unable to, getting capped across the desert. And that led into some Bella Fox action, just starting to get the momentum going early on in this one. And you are absolutely right. Every time we switch to Papa PG, it seems like there's a grenade headed into your living room, and that's obviously something he's going to try to shore up as this event goes on.
Yeah, definitely. And some of those well-placed grenades can totally change the tide of battle. But see, Bushka there was able to grab an elimination or 2, but unfortunately got caught in rotation as well. Here's Shifan, a team that on paper should do really well today, and they did pretty well. They made it to late game, but this is the play we were highlighting. This is the play we've been talking about. Ridiculous. Look at this seat swap in that Dodge Hornet to grab the elimination and get the revive to push into, I believe, what was second or third place. Ridiculous, and he knows it.
Oh, that was incredible. You could see him go from, like, ultra stressed to, like, oh, my God, did I just do that? That's incredible.
Yeah.
Then Bella Fox with the hype here at the end of the map. You don't see too many parachutes at the end of the game. That's something that's a bit interesting. We take a peek to our scoreboard, and we do have a new leader in the clubhouse, Coach.
Wow, look, I'm not saying I called it, but I called it. Team Bella Fox from second place to first place. They not only grabbed their Dodge Detour points with the 5 points overall that they've been able to secure, but they also have 15 eliminations, tying Team Solar at the top, but they've got the edge when it comes to those placement points that they've been able to grab, those ranked points, as it were, from just getting first and getting that chicken dinner in this second map, but it's those 5 dodge detour points separating them, of course, from Team Solara. As you take a look down this leaderboard, though, I mean, you can see, like, Team Bushka, they're top 8, mostly because they've grabbed both of the dodge detours that have popped up on screen for a total of 10 points. That's a ton of points to look back on. So, and also Team Winsanity made a big jump. I believe they were 13th going into that map, jumped all the way up to 8th place, only a point behind Bushka and 2 points behind Prod.
You know, I will say that the dodge detour is making a bit of a difference here because only 3 teams have collected both of those, with Bushka, Insanity, and Riggs so far being successful in that. We'll keep an eye on those and how they impact the scores in just a bit, but we also have ourselves a peek at what's coming up next, which is the IRL race event. Goj, tell me a little bit about this.
I am so excited to watch this content. We're going to have a chance to get a peek behind the curtain at this incredible IRL racing event that several of the teams that we've highlighted today were actually able to be a part of. Those content creators, Winsanity, we've talked about Bella Fox, he's at the top of the leaderboard. We talked about Farouk. I mean, incredible racing content. They were able to do in-person IRL. I'm talking hands on a wheel Powerbang, and then they also raced in games. So a fantastic collaboration with Dodge to make this all happen. But a lot on the line with this tournament for the players, and we've got a lot on the line just for being here. You actually get rewarded. So it's time for our first giveaway of the day. I know you've been asking for it. Let's roll that giveaway. Now, this is pretty important. All you have to do is drop your PUBG Mobile UID in chat now. Spam it, type it in as many times as you want. There's no limitation. Type your UID in chat now for a chance at some UC. Powerbang, I love doing these because we love hanging out with our chatters, but we also love rewarding them just for being a part of the broadcast. They're a big part of it.
Heck yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here, and stick around. We got some epic content coming up. I want you to pay attention when we watch this real life racing. Watch how close it looks to in-game. It's absolutely incredible what PUBG Mobile has done here. Best of luck winning your UID giveaway. I'm excited to see who walks away with that UC. Goj, what do we got coming up next?
Yeah, it's time. We're going to head to this IRL racing event, tap in, maybe hop into your simulation seats. I don't know what you've got. Grab some water, though, because it's going to get fiery for this Dodge collaboration. Don't go anywhere. Check out this video.
Hey everyone, I'm Winsanity, and I'm here at the Radford Driving School, joined by Farouk Ahmad, Thesaurus PG, and Bella Fox. And we are here with PUBG Mobile to celebrate the in-game collaboration with Dodge. In the game, you can find Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcats, Charger SRT Hellcats, and of course, the Hornet. While we're here, we're going to compete in a series of challenges both in-game and on the racetrack to compete for points to see who is the best driver.
The rules I've lived by is that it shouldn't feel fast. If it feels fast, I'm either not driving the car correctly, right? Or I'm going too fast. The car is trying to tell me, hey, slow down, or I'm not looking far enough ahead. But the first thing I'll check is where am I looking? And I still have to remind myself sometimes to get my eyes up.
So the first time you actually get in the car, kind of grab the steering wheel, put that seatbelt on, you kind of feel like there's just a lot more power there.
The engine was so powerful, just the slightest little bit of gas, and we were off to the races.
It was the first time that I was driving a car like that, a Dodge Challenger, and I was impressed by the way it handled, the acceleration, and especially the sound.
It should be a challenge. So that's the reason I want to do 45 miles an hour. Okay, so You do whatever selected speed you're supposed to, set it by this awning, you approach, you're heading for the single lane, you could see it wide open. Again, sets the speed. Looks easy, right?
No. So getting on that seat is definitely a dream come true, and having that experience is such a breathtaking.
That was good! That was good!
It's hard to translate actual driving to PUBG Mobile. However, I think with all the knowledge that we got here from how to basically tackle a turn, where the apex is, how to turn in, when to brake, it's gonna make me an even better driver in PUBG Mobile. And as we all know, I'm already the best, so I'm gonna be even further up top. So that's awesome.
No cones, baby! Let's go.
Cloudy looking to lose their life today? I think I had the most fun I've ever had behind the wheel of a car in my entire life. Oh, we're getting good. We're getting good. Nothing prepared me for the sheer amount of fun that I was going to have today. Like, over the top, best thing I've ever done. Oh my God, that's so much fun. So one of the things that I took away from today is really like where you're looking, and your vision is very important. So one of the things that they taught us today was really that our vision needs to be way more forward focused and look down the lines. And so in PUBG Mobile, that's going to help me as well. Because I'm just kind of driving where I'm going, but if I'm actually looking out around, maybe that's going to help me situational awareness wise and seeing cars that are oncoming. So I think a lot of the things that we learned today will help translate into the game.
I'm super happy. I was the best. It was driving on the track. That was the favorite part, to be honest.
I think my absolute favorite part of the day was when I was going 102 miles per hour. That was not a typo or a misspike. 102 miles per hour down the straightaway. Blew my mind, dude. Insane.
Without a doubt, my favorite part of the day was waiting in line on the final race and looking back after Farouk completely botched that last turn and seeing in my rear view mirror, he's just going. So yeah, that was a little bit adrenaline pumping.
Definitely winning. In case you didn't know, I came first, and hey, it's good. Life is a winner. I love it.
So after 2 scorching days in the Arizona heat, we are not done yet. We're going to be taking everything we learned at the Radford Driving School and applying it to PUBG Mobile, where we will compete right here to see who is the fastest driver in PUBG Mobile once and for all. We not only will go to Erangel and try to see who can get the most eliminations out of a Dodge vehicle, we also have 2 official custom World of Wonder racetracks that we will be racing on here, and you guys can also check them out in-game in the World of Wonder mode.
Oh, I'm dead. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this Dodge in the water so they can't have it.
How do I revive him? I'm so
Yep,
sorry.
oh no!
What was that?
How about if I tell you where he dodges, then you'll come get me? So I know where what is. I'm not lying.
What is feel Farouk? Chill.
Oh, no.
The inside of the cars is like 100% accurate.
Yeah.
I checked out the Challenger.
It's like it's crazy, right?
I know. It's like the exact same thing. It's crazy. Yo, Farouk, they're just feeding you.
I think I need to get the car serviced.
I had to, man. Please, sorry.
No! Did I get him?
No, you didn't get him, bro.
I didn't even get him. I didn't even get him. I don't have a recall card.
Count it, baby! Count that! Wait, what if I blow them up?
Well, I always got this guy like this.
No!
Oh!
No way, he's gonna get the res! Please tell me!
Yeah, he's gonna revive.
What?
Yeah.
Oh! Man. Yes!
Oh my god! Oh boy!
Well, how come you find that guy?
Thank you, PUBG.
I'm under fire!
But it's not.
Oh, I can't go down! Oh, not good!
Stop quick and give me the car scan.
They're the worst drivers ever, and maybe if they'd gone to Radford Racing School,
Here,
then they could have
you
caught
need
me.
a dodge?
But guess what, baby? Not happening.
You need a
I'm out
dodge?
of here.
Did you got it?
No! No!
Yellow. 2, 1, go! Go!
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, this is awesome.
I got that inside turn. I got power position. Hey,
What is it? Bro, what was that?
Hey, come on. That is not what they taught us, guys.
Just don't push too much. Don't go to 800 horsepower mode, Farouk.
I'll be in 800 horsepower mode.
Oh my god, you turned me! I didn't even know it was possible!
Let's go. I think Farouk is so far behind. He's gonna stop Bella.
I'm the last one, man. I'm the last one.
Man, this training has really paid off. Like, now that we're actually on a track. Let's go, baby! That's right, that's right. Best driver in it.
Yep. Wow, what? How
I
boss
got
are
this.
you?
This is the last one.
The winner is waiting there. Oh
What?
my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
That's okay. That's okay. We all slipped on that one.
Everyone.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm turning on 797 horsepower. Okay.
I'm just accelerating here, Win. Get out the way.
I trained for 2 days for this racing.
That's okay. You know what? No.
No!
Let's go.
I was in the lane. Come on.
Let's go. All right, after 4 gruesome challenges, we have our final results. In 4th place is Farouk Ahmad, YT. I'm sorry, my friend. And in 3rd place, we have none other than Bella Fox Gaming, bronze medalist. But we have a tie for 1st place, actually, with 16 points each. Myself and Papa PG. So this doesn't end here. So we will be settling this live right now during the Muscle Car Madness event to see who is once and for all the fastest driver in PUBG Mobile. We are back with the PUBG Mobile Muscle Car Madness Grand Finals in Powerbang. What an incredible IRL racing event with all of our content creators that were able to go. But Winsanity versus Thesaurus PG, a little 1v1 to figure out who wins it all, and could it be better than that?
That was an incredible experience. Big shout outs to PUBG Mobile and Dodge for making that happen for the creators, because I'm not going to lie, that looked pretty cool. Little jelly there. And what an outcome. It came down to a tie between Winsanity and Thesaurus PG. So naturally, we're going to have to settle that tie here on this broadcast.
Yeah, and I was taking a look back at it. As a reminder, we've got 4 different Dodge Collaboration official maps that we're going to be showcasing throughout the broadcast. I think in our World of Wonder, we're going to see 3 of those today. But we've got one of these drag race maps that we're about to preview where these 2 creators, Winsanity versus Thesaurus PG, they're going to race quite literally to the finish line to see who wins that tiebreaker, which is going to be super, super exciting. I have a feeling Winsanity's going to be repping the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat with that lime skin that he was using even in that video and today, but excited to see what Thesaurus PG will be rocking. This is going to be a fun one to figure out who wins the tie.
I hope he goes with the Charger. Man, it is all down to this. Bragging rights are on the line. Obviously, we've got the drag race coming up next between Winsanity and Thesaurus PG, but we'll also have an opportunity here in just a little bit to see all of our creators hit some of these super awesome custom maps that are like official Dodge maps that you can actually play in the game. All you got to do is just hop into PUBG Mobile and obviously download it. Make sure you're installed. Get those World of Wonder maps going. They're super fun, super cool. We'll actually have some track and circuit action as well in just a little bit. So, Goj, I'm super eager to see who can actually be the best driver, because there's a lot of people talking about how they're all that in a bag of chips. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I love that we get to showcase these maps here on main stage too, because people at home can also play in these maps at home. Like if you're watching these racers and you're like, oh, that map looks awesome, I want to check it out, we'll even give you the map code here on broadcast so you can go check it out in the World of Wonder, of course, in PUBG Mobile. So pumped about that. But you're right, it's Drag Race A, I believe, is what it's called in this first one. So straight and true, you just gotta win it. And I think we're gonna have several heats to determine who's gonna actually be the overall victor. I think here at Powerbang, I gotta go with my boy Winsanity, okay? Climbed up the leaderboard after a frustrating map 1. He's kind of got all on the line, his back against the wall. It's time to perform. There's ego there. He was even talking trash before the broadcast, saying there's no way I lose. Have you seen me play in all of these tournaments in the past? So I don't know if he's got the driving skills to take down Thesaurus PG, but I'll back Winsanity.
Let's take the counterpart here. I'm going to go with Papa PG because that man finished first with his personal best circuit time. But here we are into it, and Winsanity out in front seemingly. Oh, this is close though, Goj. They're headed up the hill towards the finish line. Who's it going to be?
I think it's going to be Winsanity. Look how close that was on either side. You get a chance to see a little bit behind the scenes here. It was slightly on delay. So it was so close at the end, but I think it was Winsanity that won that one. But we're going to hop right back into it and get started. And again, I think they're actually both repping the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcats, and it's Papa PG with the Blaze and Winsanity with the Lime. The Lime looking just a hair quicker, potentially.
Indeed, it is. This is awful close. You've got the divider between the cars, which makes it very difficult to see who is winning on that other side. Winsanity looking like he's picking up the victory in round number 2. He'll take that one home, picking up those 50 points as well. And it all comes down to this here. Papa PG. We got the Thesaurus PG taking on Winsanity. Again, this is for all the marbles to break that tie break from the IRL racing event.
Here they go. And they're trying to time their starts. You can actually see they're backing up to get a bit of momentum to try to hit that green light at the perfect time. And I think Winsanity's just got the timing down a bit better. Look at this from Thesaurus' perspective. I don't think he could catch him. I think Winsanity's about to grab another victory. There he is. A little bit of a celebration. Winsanity grabs another one. He says he's number 1.
Oh, man. Race winner goes to Winsanity, picking up a couple out of the 3. You love to see it win. Flexing those muscles in that Lime Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat Edition vehicle there, repping almost 800 horsepower on the drag strip. Win will take home your IRL racing event title. Again, big props to him.
Yeah, huge congratulations to Win. Look, man, I always believed in you, buddy. You did it. You're the best racer in A. It's shown. You've seen it on main broadcast, IRL, and in PUBG Mobile. Congratulations. I think we've actually got a chance here, Powerbang, in just a moment to actually interview him on his win and ask about that IRL racing event because it looked like a ton of fun. So I'm excited to hear a little bit more behind the scenes of everything he was able to do. But as we took a look at that drag racing map, I think it's worthwhile. We're going to see another one of those down the line here for our main competition, right? And Powerbang, I was looking at the scoring, and again, we got our placement points, our rank points for if you get your chicken dinner, but when it comes to our World of Wonder Dodge official maps and those points, you've got to win to gain points. So in that first map, it's going to be 6 points if you can win, so you got to be like Winsanity, grab a victory if you want to add some points to the leaderboard. But I believe we've got Winsanity here in the booth with us. It's time to interview the champion, the IRL and in PUBG Mobile racing champion. He's even got a trophy. Everything.
Oh,
Win, how are we feeling, my friend?
Oh, we're feeling good, man. I didn't realize they, Amazon Prime next 5-minute delivery for the trophy right there. What the heck? Let's go. I'm feeling good. That was a couple weeks in the making there, but I'm glad we now have an undisputed #1.
Well, Win, tell me, how did it feel to be out there behind the wheel of one of these Dodge Charger and Challenger Hellcat SRTs? That was absolutely insane to see you do that. Tell me a little bit about what that experience was like.
Oh, man, definitely one of the coolest. Let's just put it out there. That was the coolest thing I think I've ever done as a YouTuber. I'm definitely not like a car guy. I've seen Dodges out and about, and I'm like, okay, it's a Dodge. Oh, no, now I know, like, that's a Dodge. I have so much more respect for these cars and the horsepower, and that is a machine. It's a thing of beauty, man. I drive like a little sedan around, in the streets, but when we finally got to let rip out on the racetrack, I will definitely never forget that. So shout out to PUBG for bringing us out.
Man, that's a great shot, Win. And look, I was watching the video as well, saw some really cool racing. You're talking a little bit of trash. I heard Bella Fox say she topped out at 102 miles an hour. How fast did you get? Did you get up to that 102 as well?
Yeah, so when they took us out to like the back racetrack at the very end of the second day, and there was this long straightaway where you could really get going. And now Bella and I, we were down on the 500 horsepower, so I also hit about 102, 103 before we had to, hit the brakes. But I think the Saurus and Farouk, they were up on that 797 horsepower. They said they got up to like 120. But yeah, the wheels came off. The training wheels came off definitely for those last few drills. You saw in the video, they started us out at like 30 miles an hour, and then 45, and then 60, and then before we know it, by the end of day 2, we're ripping over 100. So it was crazy. When the helmets came on, that's when you know it got real.
That's incredible stuff, Win. Again, congrats on the IRL driving title from the IRL Racing Challenge here. But let's focus on this event today. You are not quite sitting in first place in this one. You got your work cut out for you. Talk to us a little bit about the strategy that you and the team have kind of moving forward as we close this thing out.
Yeah, I think, it's a whole day event, right? Like, it's not just going to be won or lost in one match. Got a little bit, too far ahead of ourselves during that first one. Got knocked out kind of early. Picked up a few kills. That last game, though, it started to come together a little bit. And funny enough, one of my teammates is a guy I play with all the time on stream. But you wouldn't believe this. Tonight's the first night I've ever heard him talk. So there's a whole new element of communication. Yeah, normally, they don't talk. We just use the in-game, enemies ahead. But now, the microphone's got to come on. So it's funny. I've been playing with Pokey for, over a year. And today was the first day that I'm, I can hear his voice. So it's definitely fun. But the chemistry is there for sure.
That's awesome. Well, you've got a little bit more time to work on the chemistry. You've got one more map that you're going to be playing together as a team. But Win, you're the driving champion, and you've got some races coming up, my friend. Good luck. Go prepare. I'm sure you're going to do fantastic, especially in that Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. I like that line, by the way. It might be my favorite as well. But congrats again, and good luck in the competition to come.
Thank you.
All right.
Ooh, congrats to Win. Goj, I got to say, he better be using the right voice pack. I'm just saying, since he only communicates with voice packs in game, he better be using the right one. Pokey, I got my eyes and ears on you, my friend.
Yeah, that's a great shot. And I totally agree, right? Like when we saw their first map, they really were only on broadcast for just a moment, right? They had an early kind of hyper-aggressive start. It didn't pay off. Second map, they definitely did better. They've crept into the top 8, and they're only a couple points behind, 7th and then 6th as well. But this is where Win can really start to shine, because what's happening next is super important. We're going to see 3 races in the World of Wonder modes with the 2, I believe we've got first the 2 different Dodge official collaboration maps, and then we're actually going to Fish's map that he created by winning it. So let's take a look at some of these replays, because they both had great races, but Winsanity, the undisputed racing champion of the world, has an opportunity to continue winning and put his team not only further up the leaderboard, potentially all the way, if he can win several of these next couple races, Powerbang could potentially creep all the way into the money.
Yeah, I like the sound of that, and I'm sure he does as well. Thank goodness for those sandbags at the end of the track here. Get a little uphill, momentum going on. Got to slow those suckers down from 120 miles an hour, apparently, on that straightaway. But, man, exciting stuff there. We saw the head-to-head challenge, and we've got some heats coming up with some drag racing here between these creators. And, again, all of those heats will go towards their total score. So, while it is fun, it's also competitive. They've got to deliver when the pressure is on here, because, again, this will go towards crowning the ultimate champion here tonight.
Yeah, it's a great breakdown. And again, for our first map, we're actually going to be on Road Race A in the World of Wonder, which is one of those Dodge official collaboration maps. So you got a little bit more, I'll call it some turning, I guess, is really what it is. You got to turn the vehicle in this upcoming race, which is a total game changer. You're likely going to see the cars kind of fighting for position the entire time, so that'll be fun to watch. And like Powerbang said, there are going to be several different heats, so you got to win your heat for some extra point. I believe there's 4 total heats, and if you win your heat, it's 6 points, all right? 6. That's 3 eliminations in game. That's quite a bit, especially when you look at the spread on the leaderboard. If we've got a moment here, I'd actually love to take a look back on that leaderboard, Powerbang, because 6 points, just winning one of these, your one heat, let alone the next couple races coming up, could dramatically change where you are on that leaderboard.
Very, very big deal. And I mean, as we bring this leaderboard up, we obviously know Bella Fox and her crew sitting on the top here. And again, they only lead by 7, so 6 points largely covers that gap right there over Team Solara, so that is absolutely massive. And as you can see at the bottom side of this leaderboard, picking up 6 points in a win, that's more than half the points accumulated there for Team Waffle. So again, these are big points. They, like I said, seems fun, seems all fun and games, but they are very important to the overall performance in tonight's tournament. So again, can't understate the value of this drag race. And I will say, Goj, the difference here between the drag strip and the circuit that we're going to be on here in a bit, I want to say the drag strip, we're testing that reaction time. We're testing the discipline of these drivers, because we got to see who can keep it straight and who can not. So here we are on the circuit. We are going to take a peek here at the track first, and we got some turning going on. Bella Fox ripping through these corners.
Yeah, again, this is Road Race Map A. So we've got several heats, so you're only going to see the creators racing at this point. There should be 4 of our Dodge vehicles per race, I believe, and 4 total, which gets our 16 creators. And, there's a Lime Challenger SRT Hellcat. That could be Win that just took over Bella Fox. Doesn't look like either of them are in first. There's another vehicle up ahead dominating this race. We'll see who that is if we can here shortly.
I feel like Bella took that corner with just an extreme amount of caution, coming to a full and complete stop. Looking both ways, if you will, while no stop sign even out there. There it is we're talking about when Sandy says, thank you very much. I will take that invitation and pass her on by. So Win in that lime green Challenger SRT Hellcat Edition Dodge, cruising through the racetrack here, but there is somebody out in front that he is trying to catch. I don't know who that is, but they are cruising.
Is it Farouk? Is Farouk in front or is he behind? I think he might be in last in this race. I don't know, but yeah, not Farouk. So that was
certainly
Farouk,
not in first.
Bella Fox, and wait, it was Papa PG. It was Papa PG, Thesaurus PG on top. He just lost to Winsanity in the 1v1 to take the IRL champion of the nation.
I don't want to be on the inside.
Lost it, and then beats him in the road race. Unreal. Let's take a look back on some of these replays. 4 heavy hitters in our first heat.
Man, I really love the skill on display here from Thesaurus PG. He cruised off the line early in this one, and, you know, he celebrated by just hitting the wall after the finish line. He's like, listen, I didn't hit any during the real race. Now it's time. Give it a little bump. But Thesaurus PG getting the dub there. That's massive for his performance, and we'll see how that affects the standings here moving forward.
Yeah, and again, that means Winsanity gets 0 points from the first race. Bella Fox gets 0 points from the first race. It's only Thesaurus PG walking with any points from that first heat. That's 6 points going to the Thesaurus PG, which will help them out on the leaderboard. We're going to get into our next heat here shortly. Another opportunity for the next 4 creators to go for that 6 points as well. So we'll see what they're able to do. Let's see who is out on top. But congratulations. Thesaurus PG said, all right, you win one, I'm going to win the next. I'm that good. And apparently he's a little bit better at turning than Win is.
You know, we saw some what to do and what not to do by a couple of different people in that event. So first and foremost, let's talk about the start, right? We had Thesaurus PG launch off the line using like what seemed to be almost launch control. It was perfect. He just jumped and never looked back, led the entire way. While on the other side of things, Farouk hit the starting line in reverse. So you got to keep it in the appropriate gear. Send it on forward. Get that positive momentum building. That's do's and don'ts, right, for the launch. And then as for cornering, we saw Bella Fox come to a full and complete stop. And Winsanity say, thank you very much. I'm just going to cruise on by. But, Goj, we got our next game lined up. Rolex is at the starting line.
Yeah, and I think Rolex might be thinking about doing the Farouk strategy, back up and then push forward to try to get a little bit of an advantage, a little bit of momentum. Rolex just a hair behind his competition. Again, these Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcats in that jailbreak skin. Well, they look good until you get rammed into the wall, and it's certainly going to slow down your roll. Not sure Rolex is going to be able to catch up after that one.
We'll see. The front couple of cars is pretty tight here, and Rolex is a pretty skilled driver, and it looked like at the start they are trying to get a little bit of roll going on, almost to have that momentum, and the timing is tough, right? Like you can see that Farouk last map mistimed it and was rolling the wrong direction off the line, and that is obviously not a spot you want to be in. But for now, Rolex trying to play catch up, but this is the moment he was waiting for. Can he get by? This is brutal. He's got to keep it pinned here, pedal to the metal. Oh my gosh, it's chaos, Goj.
Talk about some box outs from his competition. Had an opportunity to blow by, but they backed up in perfect time to stop his roll and maintain position. You're right, Rolex is really good at cornering. It's just not enough. There is one more lap left in this road race. Still an opportunity to gain some ground here. Competition looking pretty good. Oh no! Clips the edge of the wall. Barely stays in it, but losing a bit of ground.
Nice try, though.
He got up on 2 wheels on that one, and I did see that Metalcore ran over Coffee Gaming somewhere else on the track. Coffee got out of the vehicle, or what happened here? There it is. Got him the next lap as well. Really rubbing it in over there, Metalcore. Nice performance, though, to him. It looked like he finished on the top there. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, big win for Metalcore. Again, if you win this first map, you win 6 points for your team. This is massive. So a lot of our qualifier players, they're cheering you on. They're going to be biding their time. We'll see them again. We're going to finish with Erangel, but for now, it's all on the creators' back. There's an opportunity here, Powerbang, to score. I believe if you can win each of our different maps, you're going to walk away with 6, and then it's 2 points per win in the next map. And then it's 8 points if you can win the final map with all of our racers on the same map. That's Fish's map, that competition map that he was able to create. So excited to see that one as well. A ton of points you can grab just for winning these races. So we'll see who the best drivers are, especially in those Dodge cars.
I was going to give props to Fish as well and tell him really nice map, really enjoyed it. We'll see that in just a bit. Keep it locked here. But here is the start once again. Watching those lights, seeing it count down, trying to get a jump here. Here is the green, and we are just about off.
It's our time.
Nice jump here from Waffles.
To shine.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The 3 jailbreak cars got the better of, I believe, the Blaze skin for everybody running the Challenger SRT Hellcats. And oh no, Shifan had a nice corner edge, but gets pushed into the wall, able to kind of eke out and gain some space.
Thank you. No.
And I think at this point has a sizable lead now, as everybody else was kind of all mushed up together. As long as he takes these corners correctly and hits all of his turns, doesn't clip any walls, should have a potential win. Of course, it is 3 laps, but anything can happen. But when you're kind of free and clear like this, Powerbang, the things we've been noticing, the racers that struggle are the racers that are right next to each other. If you can gain a little bit of space and just hit your edges, you should be fine.
Absolutely. Waffle's off to a quick start, but again, the pile up going into corner number 1. That seems to be the treacherous one, Coach. All of the racers trying to make it through that first corner, and it is a brutal one. You saw the pile up here, and the racers are starting to separate. We got Dab plays in 4th place right now, and we've got another pile up. Oh, man, this is a tough break for him, and Riggs able to make it out. Can he overtake here for second place?
Tough, dude.
Maybe. It's just right behind, but Shifan, no one else in sight. This is what I was talking about. Everyone jockeying for a position behind you. But again, only first place matters. Only first place gets you points for your team. Sure, there's some egos on the line, some who's the best Dodge drivers in PUBG Mobile on the line, but Shifan is just going to say, yeah, that's me. There's just no problem, and even slows it down crossing the finish line because he knows there's not anyone even close. Look at this win.
That was some serious Usain Bolt vibes there, slowing it down to a jog coming across the finish line there. Shifan rubbing it in a little bit. I will say, Waffles had the jump, but unfortunately, bit of a pit maneuver there. Somebody took out her rear end going into that corner. Shifan able to come out in the lead, and really it comes down to that. Here's corner number 1, as we were talking about. Here it is, and boom, into the wall. Just a bit cut off there. Shifan able to make it out the better off for it.
Yeah, and that's a great breakdown, Powerbang, because that's exactly what happened, right? If you can just get out of that kind of early engagement with all the vehicles around you, should have a free and clear victory. Shifan did it perfectly, very well done. Obviously, former pro, I think he's probably driven a vehicle or 2 in his time, but racetrack or maybe on Ehrenkel or otherwise, the man can do it all.
That first corner so clutch because you can see some very experienced players like Rolex not making it through that first corner in first place, unable to make it past the other drivers, and that's obviously a challenge. We gotta really try to make it through that first corner in first place. It's something that these guys are going to do right now. Who is going to get off the line first? And it's not her gaming, but this first corner is about to get interesting.
All right.
Yeah, this is where you don't want to overtake on first corner. I love that shot from Powerbang. You got to kind of play it safe here and hope the person in front of you makes a mistake. And it is Jacob Gaming in the front.
The question is, this
Jacob known
wait, 1 second.
with his community as the boat gang, but apparently today is the Dodge Driver of the Year, dominating currently. Bird Gaming potentially still in second, but Jacob just needs to not make a mistake here to potentially take it all. Harder said than done, but we'll see.
Solara coming up a little bit short here. You can see how much they have to travel in front of them. They're coming around those first 2-3 corners. Definitely some ground to make up. Her gaming actually keeping it pretty tight right now with Jacob, and she is gaining ground, but I don't know if time is on her side as the track's starting to get shorter and shorter as they head into the final lap.
Here we go. The onus of responsibility on Jacob's back. Carry the boat gang across the finish line.
Don't choke.
Grab 6 points. Don't choke. It all comes down to perfection. You can just stand to not make a mistake and not slow down too much taking those corners. Got an opportunity. Here we go. Jacob rounding the last couple corners. Yes, Jacob Gaming will win his heat. Jacob Gaming, albeit not by much, does take 6 points for his team.
Yeah, that was a close one. Definitely the closest we've had so far. Her gaming. Valiant effort right there. I liked how she didn't win that first corner, but she stuck with Jacob, who is a great driver, through the entire race, just waiting for that mistake to happen. Unfortunately for her, it never did. Jacob coming through consistent and a clean run, staying off those walls. And that is a really, really nice start for him, more specifically than anything. Look at that. Those 2 cars were off the line in a hurry.
Yeah, and I think some of the strategies these players are figuring out is that if you can back up right? And then start your engines, start moving forward, and hit the line at the perfect time when it goes green. You're going to have that advantage over somebody that's just starting at a dead stop to be able to push past and take that first corner. So we're having a lot of fun here with our Dodge collaboration, but there's always strategy we could find amidst these races. So congratulations to all of our winners, by the way. 6 points going to you. But we're going to be heading into our second race here shortly. And I believe, Powerbang, as we get into this, we've got a chance to actually show the people at home how to get involved. You can get involved on some of these Dodge official collaboration maps. Here's the code. Head over to the World of Wonder. Type in the codes to get involved in our races. Of course, you're not going to be racing against the creators, but you can check out these maps anytime, anywhere in World of Wonder. This Dodge collaboration is live until November 6th, so go get your hands on it right now.
Awesome feature from PUBG Mobile with those World of Wonder maps being fully custom built. We got the official Dodge maps here that you guys can go race on all month long and into November. Very exciting. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys out there. We can get some drag racing in, maybe some track racing as well. Looks pretty fun, I'm not going to lie. And what better way to do it than in an official tournament where there's some money on the line. Am I right, Coach?
Yeah, we keep talking about the points, Powerbang. Points are key, but points dictate how much money your team is taking home, right? $10,000 on the line. This is huge, especially for our qualifyees. Like, they're cheering on the creators more than we are. Like, I love a good prediction game here in the booth, but they're saying, hey, if you don't race well, we might not be winning any cash today. So buckle in, put the pedal to the metal, and let's get going. Now, excited to take a look into these next two races as well. We had a chance to see our Road Race A map, but it's time to hop into our next one, and we're actually going to be going to drag racing. Okay, so we already saw the first drag race map. This is the second one, and this is what we're talking about. The Source PG's got a little bit of advantage, and he hits the start perfectly. You saw Winsanity next to him, I believe, just barely go too early, and yeah, Winsanity's spinning out. The Source PG has this one in the bag.
Oh, that was hilarious, man. Win. I think he was headed the wrong direction. He's still thinking he's on the track. Unfortunately, this is a straight line, and somehow, some way, we are going to run this back. And look at that start, man. The Source PG just absolutely timed that perfectly.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. It's like if you've got to time that start perfectly, and this is where Bella just a little bit too late on the go, right? And you see that jolt of momentum, and I think that might be Papa PG again winning this second one. Again, each win that you get, there's 3 rounds per heat. Each win you get is 2 points. If you win all 3, that's another 6 points going to your total. Bella Fox not able to take the second round. Yeah, Papa PG with 4 points total thus far. This is a huge win for Thesaurus.
Let's see if he can make it a three-peat here. Thesaurus needs those points. He is not near the top of the standings. But who knows, after all this, he might be crushing it right now on the drag strip here. He's timed it once again. Let's see if he can hit it. He does. What a monster. Uh-oh, he's got competition, though. Win is right out the driver's side window, and it all comes down to this. They are neck and neck heading into the backstretch here. Goj, who's it going to be, Win or Papa PG?
My nose is in my monitor. It's close. No, Papa PG. Thesaurus, 3 up, 3 down. Wins them all. After losing the 1v1 against Winsanity, he wins 3 back-to-back against him. Look, Winsanity's earned the title. Winsanity has won it all. He won it. Thesaurus, you got nothing else to prove, but Thesaurus wants that cash for his team. A huge victory there. That's another 6 points to Thesaurus' team. A huge, huge win.
That's right. Check out the jump that the Thesaurus PG is getting every single time here. The light turns green. He hits the boost strip there, and on down the line he goes, and Win says, forget this. I'm just going to take a bit of a pit stop here. But the Thesaurus PG winning every single race he participated in so far, and we still have another one coming up in just a bit, and we'll see if he can make a clean sweep through the race segment of this tournament.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun after all of our races to see where Thesaurus PG was able to jump from, right? If he can win both of these, which he's already done, right? That's 12 points going to his team. But if you can then win the next one with everybody involved, that's another 8 points. A 20-point swing is nuts. But let's head into the next heat. We'll see if Coffee can do similar things to Thesaurus. No, just barely behind someone else. We'll see who gets the first win.
Is Coffee going to get
Great reaction time from whoever's in that left lane there. We'll see here as the champion for this heat is crowned momentarily. We cruise into that Dodge finish line, and Coffee gets close, but no cigar on this one. It's going to be Metalcore picking up the checkered flag in heat number 1.
Look, I got some insider information here, Powerbang. Apparently, Thesaurus was practicing these races for like ad nauseum the last several days leading up to this event. Somehow couldn't put it together when it mattered most against Win, but when it matters in the tournament, he's doing it for his squad.
Oh, you love to see the commitment, the dedication. Unfortunately, he let Win, run away with one, give away that trophy. But here we are, just absolutely crushing in the racing segment. And Metalcore is going to try to hold down the fort here, pick up some points for himself. He needs them as well. And Prod, brother, get off the sidewalk. We got a race to do here.
Oh, is he going to hit it? No, not even close. Yeah, Prod's just going to kind of bide his time. You're not worried about getting to the finish line now because he just totally missed the start timing. And this is what practice does for you, right? I think Metalcore might actually get it again. Prod is not even going to worry about getting to the finish line because if you don't have a good start in a drag race, it's just over for you, my friend. Prod's going to be done, and it looks like Metalcore actually was able to grab that one as well. I'm not sure if Metalcore grabbed all 3 Powerbang, but if he did, that's another 6 points going to Metalcore.
That's a massive point collection from Metalcore as well. Him and Thesaurus clearly standing out as the racers to beat on the drag strip. But I will say, Prod's decision to swerve into the wall there, interesting because he was actually gaining a lot of ground, way more than I thought, given the start that he had. So we'll check out the start of this one here.
Okay, it's a little after.
Didn't have a favorable, but watch him gain this ground as we're looking back here. Pretty impressive stuff, but again, taking a peek over at some of our other vehicles as well.
Oh, Prod, we love you. We love you, Prod. It's not your day in the drag race booth, but yeah, Rolex is frustrated he couldn't grab the win there. Metalcore, all 3, so 6 points, huge win. We're gonna head into the next heat and see who's able to do that. I'm curious. I'm surprised to see the consistency between some of the players, right? To win 3 in a row is not luck, right? There is skill involved, especially in the drag racing, of getting that timing perfectly, but doing that perfectly 3 times in a row, pretty impressive stuff.
Perfectly perfect indeed. Metalcore, the Source PG, truly standing out so far on the drag strip. And there's a couple other folks as well, consistently going backwards when that green light kicks off. But we'll keep those names to ourselves. But again, so far so good for a couple of our creators, as they're going to be putting some major tally marks in their side of the points column. Much needed for them, and I'm so excited to see the standings after this racing segment wraps, because we are going to have some shifting, and I think in a big way here, Coach.
Yeah, definitely. And I got to remind everybody, of course, the Dodge collaboration is live till November 6th. So I'm sure you've already got your hands on PUBG Mobile. If you haven't, go download it. iOS, Android, Google Play Store. It's free. Go get involved on the Dodge collaboration. November 6th is when it closes. You got a chance to hop into World of Wonder with all its new updates in 2.8 and check out these official collaboration maps with Dodge. Love to see it. Shifan showed us his prowess in the road circuit. Goes for the box out. Might give away position. Just barely, I think. No, lost it to someone else on the other side of the wall. We didn't see. It was Waffles, I think, winning that one.
That was so close, easily the closest drag race we've had so far, but they don't even have time to cry and commiserate here. The next race is coming up, and unfortunately for Waffles, bumping up against the front here, waiting for that green light. Not the start she was probably looking for. Oh, but maybe so. She launches out to the first place again.
Okay, all right, Waffles has got some secret strats I don't think some of our players know. This could be a back-to-back win again. Oh yeah, the celebration comes through. Waffles, no problem. 4 points already. Honestly, a huge boon, especially with Waffles being where they were on the leaderboard. Could dramatically see an increase from Waffles if they're able to grab all 6 points here and do well in the next one.
That was crazy. All right, this is Shifon's race here. I am excited to see where he ends up. Again, the strategy seems to be bumping up against the starting line here. And hitting this first strip. The turn there may do him in, but maybe he's trying to box out the competitor in his lane. I just can't imagine that's going to go well for the other side, right? There's 2 other racers on the other side of the barrier. But so far, so good. He's winning his side. Let's see if it's enough for Riggs. He's grimacing, and he gets the W.
I don't know. Nice. Our first, I think that's our first heat and only heat to actually have traded wins. So Waffles walked away with 4 points total after winning 2 of the rounds. The third round, though, Riggs grabbed it perfectly. It looked like that heat. Totally different strategy. There was no one backing all the way back to the back wall like PG was, getting a ton of momentum and hitting the boost at the end. Everybody was right at the start and was just about hitting the green light at the right time and hitting that boost perfectly.
Yeah, it was really interesting that when you could see Riggs' focus was fully forward that entire time, never hit the eyeball to look around at his competitors at any point. So who knows? He could have been on a racetrack solo there. He certainly was feeling himself. But as we go back to this first heat, Shifan really was in a good position, and this, for me, this got in his head. He was out in front, but look at the comeback there. That was impressive stuff as they hit that finish line. Very close race.
Wow, Waffles was able to just barely eke out that win over Shifan. And I think, especially when it comes to drag racing, the less you can hit the side-to-side turning, the better, right? Like any even slight, tiny turn that maybe slows you down a hair of a mile per hour is enough to potentially have you lose the race. And there's a bad start from Shifan, able to gain some ground, but not enough to take down Riggs, who had a nearly flawless run. Very well done to win that last one race. Congratulations. 2 points can go far in a tournament like this. We'll see if it ends up mattering at the end of the day.
No!
It's pretty incredible racing all the way around from our competitors. We're not done just yet, Goj. We've got another special map designed by one of our competitors, and that will be coming up after this last heat. Here we'll dive into Solara on the drag strip. She hits the front edge, and well, she's zooming, you know. I gotta say, it doesn't seem like the momentum really matters at the start. It almost seems like hitting that booster at the slowest speed possible has the biggest effect. And Solara, is she gonna get the dub? She does.
Okay, there's some meta gaming going on right now. There's some like interior game strategies that some of these players are figuring out. And I think you're right, Powerbang. I think you have to hit this booster. I don't know if it's a speed that you hit the booster, or rather you have to hit it perfect dead on to get the like maximum amount of efficiency that you can out of it. Seemingly that plays a huge piece. And look at the projectile speed at the car on the left-hand side of her gaming, because I think they hit that booster perfectly. Very well done. Let's see who that is. I don't know if that's Solara again, potentially.
I think Solara's in the right lane in second place. No, she is on the left side. Incredible.
Okay.
Solara.
Wow.
So that's 2 down.
I'm not gonna do the strat because apparently that's.
It looks like they select different lanes every time too, so they don't have any sort of home field advantage here.
Center track as we pop.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You gotta hit this perfectly. We'll see if Jacob's able to do it. He's got the boosters on, ready to go when it turns green. But you can see the card right next to. Oh, nice. See, I think he hit that booster perfectly. Shouldn't hit the turns too much here as long as he doesn't hit the wall. Touches it there shortly, but I think Jacob's going to grab a victory here out of Solara. So Solara grabbed 4 points. Jacob grabs 1. Jacob grabs 2 points overall, and Solara grabs 4. You got to remember, though, Solara's in second place, so any points that she's able to grab is massive to gain on Bella Fox.
Only 7 points behind at the start of this segment. We'll see where she lands and nets out here shortly. But checking out the replays, that first game, Solara with a bit of a rough start, but very quickly correcting that. Catches up, blows by the competition. And in the second heat, we had ourselves another doozy. That left lane, once again, Solara cruising to victory. And then in our third heat for this round, we had Jacob getting himself some much-needed points here and taking down Bushka, it looks like.
Yeah, you can see kind of the angle at which Bushka hit that boost at the very beginning of this drag race. Seemingly doesn't give you as much as hitting it dead on straight like Jacob was able to do in that last rep. So found some strategy along the way. Congratulations to Jacob grabbing 2 points, and again, Solara grabbing 4. That closes the gap on Bella Fox. If Bella doesn't get any points across the board here, down to 3-point lead, which is going to be crazy going into Erangel. But there's still another race coming up here shortly, and excited to talk about this one. Let's throw up that map, and this is Fish's racing map. Again, won a competition to build this map. It was created and submitted by PUBG Mobile community player Fish, and he won $1,000 USD cash prize and got the chance to feature their map here in the grand finals. Now, this is a fun one because you can see the description down below, and here's the code. If you want to go get involved in World of Wonder, go check it out. This one is crazy. The race Powerbang actually is in Erangel, and there are 43 checkpoints these players have to hit. To win it all, you got to park in the final one. 43 checkpoints racing around Erangel. This is going to look totally different from the last ones, and we're going to have all of our racers on the same map.
I had no idea how much you knew about this track, Goach. I've checked it out. It's incredible. 43 checkpoints, like you said. We're talking in and out of cities, on and off roadways. Some of these checkpoints are easy to see, some not so much. It's going to be really important for all drivers to use that heads-up display, figure out how they're navigating, what direction they're going, how far they are away from the next checkpoint. I expect to see chaos. I expect to see just absolute mayhem out on the battlegrounds as drivers try to figure out where they're directing their dodges because they have some mysteries to solve on the battlegrounds of this one.
Yeah, and again, you gotta go check out some of these maps, whether it's Fish's or if it's some of these Dodge official collaboration maps. Go check it out in World of Wonder. This collaboration is live till November 6th, and super excited to see the creativity of everybody that entered into that map building contest. But Fish, who is playing today, by the way, qualified for the event and got his map featured in that event. Super, super cool. So likely going to be cheering on, and likely gave some strategies to Bella Fox. And that's where we can start talking about some competitive advantage here. Fish made the map. Fish is playing with Bella Fox. You gotta know Fish gave Bella Fox every shortcut you could possibly grab on the map that they created.
That is a really interesting point. Hadn't even thought of the potential competitive advantage of the map builder also qualifying through the tournament. So this was not somebody that we handpicked and put on the squad.
That's right.
This man qualified. So I am very, very curious to see if that pans out for them at all. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But I have had a little birdie tell me, Goj, that this map has some wild twists and turns. We talked about the next location potentially being a mystery, but there's even segments of this where the drivers will have to double back and ultimately go against the grain. There's a possible for some cross traffic at some points and even some head-on collisions to try to avoid. And those drivers that are able to do that effectively will probably have a leg up when it comes to ending on the top of that leaderboard.
Yeah, what's fun about this, too, there's no dodge detours, and you certainly don't want to take any dodge detours along the way. You've got to hit every single checkpoint. And the way this works, again, I want to break down the full points from this map in particular, because it is different. We only have one heat, one race, takes about 5-ish minutes, unless you're just better than me, which you probably are. And the first place, if you win the whole race, you're walking with 8 points. Now, basically, all the other points, the placings, are based on how many checkpoints you're able to grab before the first player wins. So when somebody finishes the race is done, and wherever you're at on the track, if you finish maybe the 37th checkpoint, that's where you're at, and that's where you'll be measured against your competition. If you get second place overall, you're still walking away with 7 points, then 6th, 5th, all the way down to if you get 8th, you're walking away with at least 1 point. But top 8, you got to get top half to get any points for your team in this final race before we head back and close this thing out with Aaron Kell.
It's a great point, Goj, and that's worth reiterating as well. It's not necessarily about who's ahead of who. It's about how many checkpoints you have completed on the racetrack, and that's how this will be scored. Obviously, the first to get to the 43rd checkpoint and find that bad boy, well, they're going to be the winner of this competition. We almost have all of our drivers ready to go. We just got one man still in the pit stop, changing those tires, getting that fuel in the vehicle, and we will be rocking and ready to go. Goj, do you have any predictions based on what we've seen through the drag strip so far? We had some standout drivers. How do you think it translates from the drag strip to a full-blown on- and off-road circuit? Is there any that have caught your eyes?
One I think there's almost zero correlation. The drag racing was all timing. This is going to be all about communication, maybe with yourself or your chat, but more about your coordination on the map. That's the word I was looking for. You've got to find those checkpoints immediately. If there's ever a moment you don't know where to go, you're in trouble. Here's that map code one more time.
Racing
Go
School
mark it down.
Dodge
Go check it out.
Collaboration
This map is
Champion.
super cool. We're going to take one more look back on some of these drag racing replays to kind of further emphasize my point. Even on this circuit, right, it's all about not making any mistakes. Sure, that could be the case in this kind of Erangel map style race we're about to see with checkpoints. I think it's more about the way you kind of coordinate your pathing. Like, you've got to path correctly from checkpoint to checkpoint to checkpoint, and if you've never played the map before, you're going to be in a world of hurt.
Pathing is huge. I think it's really worthwhile to figure out how you can basically take as straight of a line from point A to point B, or checkpoint 6 to checkpoint 7, whatever the number happens to be that you're striving towards next. Straight lines as much as possible while also making the corners very, very easy, right? You just want to gently turn that wheel and not have to, you know, torque it super heavy and lose that momentum, lose that speed, ultimately cause more friction with the ground. But we are ready. Let's get into it. Here is the start. Oh, this is madness. We are off and running already. Farouk Ahmad looks to be sitting in the pole position here, and you see him immediately take a wrong turn, and he is passed up.
See, this is what I was talking about. Already, we're seeing the chaos that ensues. Now, if you're somebody like Coffee and you're kind of near the back, just hang on. Anything can happen. People are going to take wrong turns. There's this massive blue circle you can see that tells you where to go. And you've kind of got that floating number in the sky, but you've got to find it. That's the key. A lot of them are linear. Some of them definitely not. A lot of them follow the road. Some of them definitely do not. And again, I think somebody like Bella Fox, who likely worked with the map designer leading up to this event when they realized they were on the same team, gave Bella Fox every single minor detail, every single shortcut. To answer your question in full force here, in full commit, I think there's a good chance Bella Fox takes this whole thing. Really the only player with some massive competitive advantage. We'll see if she's able to kind of execute on that.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Some of the instruction given at the driving school they went to, IRL, was to keep their eyes on the road, down the road, quite a bit out into the distance, and not stare at the road directly in front of them. That could be challenging for this particular race because, as you'll notice, there are some key HUD elements like that yellow arrow in the circle in the middle of the screen. It's above where your eyes might land, especially if you're playing on a tablet. So if you're watching the road and figuring out where to turn, oftentimes where that next checkpoint is, you have to deliberately turn your eyes and look for which way you're going.
Yeah, it's a great shout, and you can learn a lot by going to some IRL racing schools or otherwise. Or maybe keep your eyes on the road. It's kind of a basic racing and just driving strategy. Certainly the case here today. The funny thing about this race is you got to keep your eyes on the road, but you also have to have, without a passenger, your eyes everywhere because you cannot miss a checkpoint. I think it was Dab Plays, probably dead last, maybe, that way behind the other competitors. And we talked about it, 43 checkpoints. Rolex maybe near the front, if not at the front, already about halfway or almost there.
Yeah, I think he's about halfway through the map, and it looks like two cars have pulled away, one of them being Rolex. The other is unknown because they all kind of look the same and very dodgy, if you know what I'm saying. So we're cruising through these checkpoints one after the other, and Rolex has really figured out how to use that HUD, how to look around, and he has found himself a tree as well. This could be the turning of the tides. We'll see if he gets passed up here going to checkpoint 26, and he does.
So greedy.
Yeah, so this is that moment you look back on and you say, okay, is that shortcut worth it? Like, it is if you hit it perfectly, but having to dodge every single tree that you can is going to be difficult. No! Watch out the other Challenger SRT Hellcats and the other Charger SRT Hellcats coming at you. Some of these checkpoints are crazy tight and people going every which way. Bella Fox, unfortunately, a little bit behind. Must have missed one in the process. That hurts if you're Fish, but we'll see who wins it overall. Rolex still in a pretty good position. I want to know who's in the very front, though, if it's not Rolex.
There was a bit of a pileup in between those crates towards the front, and that was definitely a pileup that we're going to need to see. And Bella hits the brakes, comes again to a full and complete stop, checks both ways for traffic. It seems to be clear, so off we go to that next checkpoint. Very nicely done from her, but we are cruising back towards the front. Looks like Prod way out there right now. We are, I believe, nearing the end. This is checkpoint 38. There's only 43, so I believe Prod may be our front runner at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think I see a car off in the distance a little bit ahead of him, so I think Prod might be in the lead. You see where Jacob's at, a couple cars back. Again, you score just by being top 8, so you can't give up, you can't back down, keep pushing, pedal to the metal, let's get going. Any place you can overtake potentially could net you the much-needed 1 or 2 points. And look at this. Somebody's already finished as they're crossing the bridge. So some of these streams at a little bit of different time. But yes, this is the end. 41. Solara trying to find the finish line. Again, got to get to top 8. Somebody else beats her there. But I was told by the map builder, I think it was Prod that wins it all. Powerbang. Prod walks away with 8 points for his team, winning it. I was told beforehand by Map Builder and some of our team behind the scenes, they had to park in that final spot, and it was a very, very small. You saw how many cars were circling that gas station trying to find that parking spot. Looked like Prod was able to grab it first.
It was a very small spot, kind of hidden from the eye. Had to pull up to the fuel pump, park there, and wait for some service, and ultimately Prod able to do that first, picking up a big W on the Fish Racing map here in the World of Wonder. Again, huge new update from PUBG Mobile in Update 2.8. Has some tweaks to that World of Wonder, so download the game, go check those out, and congrats again to Prod for picking up that winner chicken dinner victory on the racetrack here. Let's check out the highlights here from this map.
Yeah, and again, it started so chaotic, and there was a couple of the racers that missed that first turn. Going from checkpoint 2 to 3, rather. Some people remain staying straight, saying, I think this is where it goes. Hadn't played the map before, potentially, and because of that, were punished for it. Now, a couple other racers bumping and grinding up through some of these checkpoints, but it was Farouk early lead, and then a quick spin out put him back in trouble. Jacob likely scored some, I believe, looking back on that leaderboard. Solara scored as well, which is huge for her because she's near the top of the leaderboard currently, and I don't think Bella Fox scored Powerbang, so you could see Solara, once all of our admins did math behind the scenes, Solara could be at the top of the leaderboard, as Bella Fox might be even going the wrong way.
Oh, wow. That was incredible. Shifan got a glimpse of something there for a moment. I gotta say, this is a really cool map. Big props to Fish for putting this together. It's something special to see this many vehicles on the track at the same time and literally racing. Like, this is incredible, and what better backdrop to do it than PUBG Mobile, seeing Georgia Pulse, seeing Zarky even in the race. So that was really, really incredible. And again, Fish, great job. Enjoy those $1,000 for winning the map building competition for the World of Wonder for this particular event. Super awesome.
Yeah, a great breakdown. We've got a lot of math to do behind the scenes with all of those different races, so we're going to give our admins a little bit of time before we pull up that leaderboard. Excited to see where we're at, but we got some math, all right? So bear with us, and while you're bearing with us, while you're watching this incredible show, we've got another giveaway for you. It's time. Oh, there are giveaway codes on screen. You got to go to PUBGMobile.com/redeem and claim this UC as fast as possible. Here are your codes. 5 codes. 5,000 UC each code. Were you ready for that one? It's high octane action here with the Dodge collaboration. Type in these codes at PUBGMobile.com/redeem as fast as you can. 5,000 UC a piece. Were you caught lacking? Were you grabbing water? Type it in as fast as you can. Hopefully you can grab some rewards.
That's right. You just enter Clurvidigs up on the website. I will say, pro tip for those of you guys that attend these shows regularly, put that URL in your bookmarks. Just saying, so you can quickly go to it anytime that there's a giveaway. PUBGMobile.com/redeem. Put it in your bookmarks because you never know if you're going to have to get back there quick. That might pay off for you in the future. So a little pro tip from me to you.
Yeah, hey, Powerbang, I love your pro tips. Keep those coming here on main broadcast. But while you're thinking about some more of those, I'm going to grab some water myself. We had some giveaways. We've got one more map coming up down the line and that leaderboard I'm anxiously waiting to see. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break.
Fica de olho agora, Rato Boy! Derrubando! O Kurama pode ser o próximo e foi! Difícil que está perdiendo la partida! Aquila, como lo que levanta en el aire! ¡Impresionante! Richie que está aguantando, pero la altura no lo favorece, se la corre!
And we are back with the PUBG Mobile Muscle Car Madness Grand Finals. And folks, I'm Goj, this is Powerbang. We've been your hosts all day today. And Powerbang, the finish line is in sight, all right? The pedal is to the metal, as they say, and everybody's hopping in their Dodge Challengers and Charger, SRT, Hellcats, and maybe even their Hornets here on Erangel as we go into the final map of the day, the final chance for these teams to earn any points and therefore earn any cash in our $10,000 prize pool.
Speaking of prize pools, man, there is $10,000 up for grabs. It's going to be everyone going for that first place. And I got to say, there's a few teams that are gunning for it more so than the others, I feel like. But again, the likes of Bella Fox, the likes of Solara, looking at that first place $5,000 prize pool, but even all the way down through fourth, participants get hooked up with some cash prizes here, Coach.
Yeah, excited about this, of course, and our qualifyees are a part of those teams. That payout is to the team as a unit, so our qualifiee players, again, as a reminder, there was like 700-plus players that tried to qualify for this event. We took the top 48 to join in with our 16 creators to create our 16 teams. Now, they've been kind of waiting on the sidelines, quite literally cheering from the stands, watching their creators race, but now it's time to hop back into the action. Erangel is right around the corner. One more chance to prove yourself here on main stage. A lot on the line, too, because Powerbang, we saw the spreads from the leaderboard. Let's take a look at the map, of course, that we're about to go into, but the spreads on the leaderboard are very, very close, and we've seen teams drop 30, 40 points in one singular map on Erangel, so a massive opportunity to jump this leaderboard and hopefully gain some cash. But this is where we came from. This is where we're going. World of Wonder completed. Race 1, 2, and 3 done and dusted. It's time for Erangel, the last map of the day. I'm pumped about this one.
You know, I gotta say, Coach, I am actually pretty pumped because the racing part really kind of exceeded my expectations. That looks super fun. I want to get out there right now, download PUBG Mobile, get on the Battlegrounds, and I want to go race in the World of Wonder. I thought that was super, super cool. I really like the effort that Fish put into that map, and I'm definitely going to go try that one out myself because that looked absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and World of Wonder in general, like we had mentioned a couple of times, in the 2.8 update actually got an update. You have updated templates and new building capabilities as well. So go check out World of Wonder with the new update because of those reasons, but also you can check out these maps, the Dodge official collaboration maps and Fish's map that he was able to create in Erangel. You've got to go get your hands on it. Hop in your Challenger SRT Hellcat, go hop in your Charger, and get on those race courses, especially here while we're waiting. You got a chance to maybe run a couple races and then hop back into the broadcast with us to watch this final map on Erangel. Now, we have a chance here to also talk about strategy, Powerbang, as we're waiting for this map to get started. All the players are hopping in, and our admins are doing math behind the scenes. We're going into this final map, everything on the line, and Powerbang, you're full of pro tips. You've been on this stage as a caster, you've been on this stage as a competitor. What's your rallying speech to your team? Maybe if you're, let's call it Insanity, 8th on the leaderboard going into this, maybe gained a spot or two from the races. What do you say to your teammates as you go into this? What's your strategy? What's your rallying cry?
If I'm leading my squad here, step one is very clear. It's get a Dodge, get one of those vehicles rallied in the stables, ready to roll out. Gotta loot fast. Gotta get that gear, strap it on, get some weapons, get some ammo, and roll out immediately. So I feel like the teams that need those points have got to jump quickly. Like, look at the plane path, figure out where they can jump and loot up and find enough for the team to the point to where they can get on the ground early and drive to the other obvious hotspots that are just next to the plane path, right? Look at, like, is Pachinki underneath the plane path? Is it military base? Like, look for where the obvious jumping spots are going to be. Jump early, loot up, and head to those spots to try to force the action because, again, 2 points per elimination. You got to be aggressive here to try to claw back up those leaderboards.
Yeah, you quite literally just hit the pedal to the metal, Powerbang. I love that breakdown. The game is about to be ready. Folks, strap in, buckle up. It's time to get into the final map of the day on Erangel. If you're a team near the bottom of the leaderboard, you better get hyper-aggressive. Find the first Challenger SRT Hellcat that you can find and fly around this map looking for eliminations. Let's take a look at it. Look at this plane line kind of coming in from the southeast, moving down to military base. I'll be curious to see where some of these teams might stretch to up into the north. If I had to make a guess, Powerbang, I think some of the teams at the top of the leaderboard might stretch further north because they don't have to take some early encounters to win. Some of the teams near the middle or middle bottom are going to go for the hottest drops they can.
100%. If you're on the top of the leaderboards here, you're looting Roz, you're looting Georgia Pole, you're looting North George. That's where you're headed. And again, you're not going to cross paths with some of these other folks early on and feed them points. But if you're behind, you're dropping Milta Power, you're dropping Small Power. You're going to loot that up, and you're going to immediately drive to Milta, to Farm, to Novo, to Military Base, because that is where a lot of this competition is going to be. As you can see, it's hot early on in this one. It is popping off already. And this looks to be Her Gaming versus Bella Fox, potentially. And that is a big matchup. Bella Fox has to be near the top of the standings, if not on top of them, as we head into this last map. We're still doing a bunch of number crunching behind the scenes, but I cannot wait to see where that nets out.
Yeah, and I did get confirmation from production that it was Prod, Rolex, and Solara in the top 3. So that does mean Solara's team likely walked away with 6 points from that final race, which would catapult them all the way up to first place. But back to the action on your screen. Bella Fox's team in trouble here. Bella down and teammates nowhere to be found. I believe quite literally only a dream left in this lobby. A solo at the very beginning when you're in second. That is exactly not what Bella Fox wanted to happen.
Man, she went into the racing segment on top of the leaderboard, but we're seeing a big push right now from Solara Gaming. Solara won all of her heats, or at least multiple. She won several maps,
2 out of 3.
and she placed top 3 in that last map. So again, Solara's got to be sitting pretty good right now, and I feel like she's the one to beat.
Yeah, if you're Dream, the final remaining player for Bella Fox, you've got to play for placement points. You've got to try to grab any points that you can just to try to maintain your spacing in the money at the very least. First place likely out of reach unless something catastrophic happens, but we'll see what can happen. Rolex, another player that was in top 3 in that final race, which means likely walked away with about 7 points for his team, continuing to try to creep up this leaderboard as well. Excited to see where we're at. And it looks like Dream is in a fight and wins it, uses the shotgun to find one. Dream is not going down without a fight at the very least. Able to find one elimination off screen.
Talented player, the Dream. He's playing with C4 Esports, and that's going to be a tough one to flush off the board here. We got Bushka perched on the rooftops here in Milta, firing into some smoke-covered windows, and he gets caught on the off angle, right in the ear hole. That's not what he was hoping for.
Yeah, that's the thing, especially with some of these hot drafts. You're going to get shot from multiple angles. You got to check all your corners. Luckily, playing this smart, though, when you're taking a high ground position like that, unless somebody has a perfectly timed grenade to finish you off, your teammate is somewhat close by, should get the revive, no problem. So you can see it is Rolex kind of fighting Bushka on the other side, but it was Waffles Gaming on the far right-hand side. It's got to be aware of. Whichever way you're looking, there could be a third party there. It's kind of the nature of PUBG Mobile, especially in competitions like this, especially when there's money on the line. Everybody's going to try to find a free elimination when they can get it.
Best of luck.
Yeah, the early assessment of the plane path proving to be right on point with all of these teams going Milta, military base, etc. So for those early jumpers, if they do need those points, it's time to hit that circuit, make those rounds, take those fights, and try to claw back some points for sure.
Here we go. Rolex starting to push up on this fight against Bushka. Some of the comms coming through of the teammates, and Rolex is, I think, got some enemies in his sights, just not trying to get caught out in the open. Nice hop, skip, and jump up to the wall, looking for any opening. But they're pushing. They've got the advantage. They need to make sure Bushka is continuing to stay on his heels, and Bushka is quite literally, I believe, what, 5 HP? And quite literally doesn't have Dream on his team, but is living on a prayer, trying to get to some cover and find some meds.
Sometimes that's all you need, Goj, is just a prayer, you know? Bushka clearly living on one right now, and as we take a peek back at the action in Milta, here you got Rolex really trying to get some intel for his squad, not peeking with his body, really trying to use that third-person perspective to gain some intel. He's got 2 players on the screen in front of him. He's obviously passing that along to his teammates, but I got my eye on Rolex here. I think it's too soon to count them out. I know they were a bit further down the leaderboard, but he's a competitor, and if anybody's going to get some momentum going, he is the one to be able to do it.
And they're going to have to, Dab's team's going to have to make some big moves as well. Open rotate without any cover. That's going to be tough. The buggy, not even nearly as good as something like one of our Dodge vehicles on the day, but Farouk was taking a bit of a break and is now locked back in. Ready to rock and roll.
He took a Dodge detour right into that corner.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe listening to some comms of the teammates, checking out the map or otherwise. They're going to hop in their vehicle, continue to rotate through.
Check. You can see it was like a race of the purple car.
Coffee's having a good time here with the squad. They're getting looted, booted, and ready to move. Prod Gaming had an impressive performance on the racetrack there, picking up first place on the circuit at the end. That's got to translate to some confidence here, and he's going to need to do something here in this game. Prod going to try to will his squad to victory.
Yeah, I mean, a huge victory in that race set him up for success. I mean, 8 points. You could see Prod make some huge moves for his team. Oh, another fight. Looks like, I think that's, yeah, that's PG squad again. Now, they've got Metalcore kind of trapped in this nest, if you will, kind of taking a couple different angles. One down with him, PG coming in on his own. This might be the first time, market in history that we've seen Thesaurus PG in this tournament having the advantage, but here comes Blue.
Blue Zone coming at an inopportune time, but I gotta say, if you're Metalcore here, I recommend just throwing a grenade anywhere in the vicinity. The Soros PG has magnets in his face. So if you just get a grenade nearby, the rest should be pretty much automatic.
But I'm not sure. Where are we going? We crossing the bridge this way?
And here's some of the comms coming through.
Okay.
Look, we talked about the cool, calm, collected comms of Jacob Gaming. A lot of the same. Where are we going? Are we going here? Let's move together as a unit. They've got 2 Dodge vehicles. Looks like, I believe, a Charger SRT Hellcat and a Challenger SRT Hellcat. They've got the Fuchsia Charger and the Jailbreak Challenger that many of our players have been preferring up ahead.
Yeah, we can probably go far.
And
really want loot.
the other thing to remember, and I think that's what they were talking about, Powerbang, grab as many vehicles as you can, because when these Dodge Detours pop up, those 5 points can make or break you winning money today.
Yes, but how about let's just go.
They really can. I will say they've got one of each vehicle now, so that's a actually really smart heads-up play there by Jacob Gaming and the crew. I want to point out the zone. It is in the far northwest. Remember, that is the furthest place away from the plane path, so early rotators here are going to have the advantage, and everyone is going to be having to rotate into this circle to grab their position. No one was just gifted.
Yeah, it's a great breakdown. We'll keep a look at that map when we can. Proud of some comms, of checking out some of the teams rotating through. The thing is, the vehicles... they've got some juice in them. I mean, these things can fly. So unless you hit your shots perfectly, your window of opportunity to knock somebody out of one of these Dodge vehicles is very, very small. So I'll be curious to see if somebody can hit some Twitter clips, as it were, throw on the timeline. Maybe some crossbow shots, we'll see. But yeah, Jacob's got some cars on him, so he's gonna have to figure out where to go. Tries to go up the hill, but is getting lit up and might be in a bit of trouble.
Seems a little bit sketchy, I'm not going to lie. Jacob trying to get up the hill. You can see the hard mark from the team. Coffee rotating in to provide support, albeit very, very slowly.
How many cars do we have?
A lot of guns there.
They're cataloging their cars, too. Sounds like they've got 3 vehicles under their belts.
Yeah.
And potentially looking for a 4th just to make sure. It looks like off-screen, maybe... a quick blow-by, a quick run-over of another player. Somebody gets splattered, grabs an elimination. Maybe with the Dodge vehicle. But Bushka is seemingly stabilized. No! Right as I say that! Oh, no. A nade through the window and a Molotov to finish him off. Bushka, I see your frustration. I hear your frustration, and I am with you, my friend. That is brutal.
There's people on my blue mark.
All I can say is wear those flames like a badge of honor, my friend. It wasn't your day today, Bushka, but, you know, there will be other days, my friend.
All right. Wow, Bushka. Man, we love Bushka's content. As a reminder, in our last map today, all of our content creators we're featuring are all live on their own respective channels. Go check them out. If you've got a favorite, show some love for them here in the mainstream broadcast. But check out your favorite creators as well. We love them all, including Powerbang, who's here in the booth. He's live as well on his channel. We love all of our PUBG Mobile content creators and competitors. It's been fun to watch them compete today. But a lot on the line. It looks like 48 players remaining, and Rolex urging his troops to move forward. Move as a unit. Find your entry man. Push through the window. Push through the door. Covering fire. Yes.
Uh-oh.
No. Loses one.
Loses 2.
He's 1. He's healing.
No. Oh, loses 3. Who is this person?
Unreal shots.
He pushed it low.
Through and around the walls. SMG in hand. And Rolex gets wiped. That is huge. After the success from the racing that Rolex was able to find.
They're going nowhere, buddy.
2nd place in the final map. Wow.
Oh, they're leaving in a buggy out there.
That was an incredible hold by whoever that was. I didn't see who it was because we're in the censored mode where it says player 4, team 6, whatever that is. Wow. So Lara somehow survives that grenade. She'll take it. Luck is just on her side right now.
Get that hell out of here.
But yeah, my goodness, the push from Rolex. Not many people win that 1v1, especially when that other side is already down to quote-unquote 1 HP.
Yeah, that is that was tough. Well, Solara is in a little bit of trouble as well. A grenade came over this high ground position. Certainly can see a ton of the map, but somebody is pushing them down below, and they've elected to just give up this position, even though it is in zone. This is an interesting play. I mean, Powerbang, when you've got high ground like that, of course, one well-timed nade is going to scare you, but I don't know if you want to give up that high ground spot on edge of zone.
AC Val.
I think they may be in the mode of let's just stay alive, and whoever takes that high ground probably won't want to leave it as well. So again, I think they know they're probably in first place, and they're just trying to stay in it, collect some elims towards the end of the match. I could be wrong here, but that's got to be going through their mind, just trying to play it safe, not get caught out. Hey, listen to that voice pack there, Pat. That's what I'm talking about. That sounded real familiar.
Catering to the house. I love the Powerbang voice pack. I'm here for it, Dab. Well done. Great promo for us. And your voice is just so melodious. It's so good.
Melodious. Yeah, my wife tells me all the time how melodious my voice sounds, Coach.
The echoes are just reverberating in my soul. But back to the game. The Source PG, DP in hand. Seemingly, I think they were just checking the bridge to make sure nobody else was following them across. And these are some of those key moments, again, as a viewer or people at home, or maybe you're just like me who's, you know, okay at the game at best. These are some of the like kind of more high quality moments you got to think back on. You don't want to ever leave anything to chance. So if there's a team behind you, maybe even there's a chance there's a team behind you, you've always got to check your rotations. You've got to check the teams behind you. Make sure no one is coming so that you know you're free and clear and you can kind of catalog where the rest of the teams are on the map. That's what we always talk about, especially with PUBG Mobile. Information is everything. The more information you have, the better chance you have to have some success.
We got a real pro driving moment going on right now, ladies and gentlemen. Farouk with the 19-point turn coming out of the garage. He's going to make it back onto the battlegrounds here. You love to see it. Now Dab Plays has got spotted. Whoa! A vehicle. Shit, that was like a real villain mobile. Just rolled by, trying to run him over. Dab avoids him. Fires some shots in return, but does not land.
And Dab's got a full team of 4 up as well, and they've all got their own vehicles just in case one of those Dodge Detours procs up, so at least they're prepared, albeit one's a buggy. We're going to move over to the next piece of cover here on edge of zone. Coffee doing a lot of the same. Coffee's team seemingly really hasn't found any stabilization point. They haven't been able to hold down any POIs too aggressively yet, but now they're finding their way into the circle, looking for the best spot that they can here on edge of shooting range. This is a somewhat similar zone to what we saw in the first map at the very beginning of the show, just a little bit further to the east, and likely will air to the east as well. So be curious to see where we end up. Maybe there'll be a bit more cover than last time, as we had a fairly open field with a couple trees at the end of the first map an era ago.
I got to shout out Coffee a little bit too. We haven't talked about him a ton this broadcast, but you know, he is currently sitting before the racing segment, I believe in 4th place, and he put up a tied for 6th performance on that last WoW, like the World of Wonder map, the Fishes map. He got 3 points out of that as well. So Coffee could be near the top, and with a strong close to this map, he is not out of contention. So definitely keep your eye on Coffee Gaming.
A great shout, and I think another team potentially that has a chance to creep up the leaderboard as well is Winsanity, especially with all 4 alive as well. I know there's still 43 up, but having 4 up at this point is huge going into what, again, I'm calling kind of the late middle game of this map. These are the key moments where you're able to set up for the end circle. You want to be interior, you want to be maybe not even fully on the edge, so you don't have to move as often. Wynn's got a pretty good spot here, and I'll be curious to see what his team's able to do, especially if teams also move to this POI. He's already got cover. He's already got some high ground. Is going to bide his time. Now, you might call this a camper, but you need to be a camper when you're playing for $10,000, especially if you have a good position.
Saw the coop go there.
When cash is on the line, Goj, I never fault people for doing whatever it takes. You know, you just got to go into that toolbox and pull out whatever tool is appropriate for the job. And sometimes just staying alive and hiding in a building is the way to do it. But he's got company now. When Sanity sees some opponents on that ridge line, and he's got to turn his focus there.
Look at all those cars. We're not in a race anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Find some cover. Start firing some of those weapons.
The cavalry comes by.
Yeah, and again, they go flying by with those Challenger SRT Hellcats and the Chargers. Like, they move. So it's going to be difficult to shoot them out if they're moving max speed across the map rotations, but we've seen some players be able to do it, especially if they're low on meds or something like that. A couple well-timed shots to find a pick.
Dab thinking about strategy here, what weapons to equip, and he's thinking about the AK, but unfortunate for him, he didn't pick it up. Got to pick up a teammate, though. Hopefully they get Pokey back into the fight. Winsanity here throwing smokes for cover. But again, they know there's enemies near them on that horizon. They're trying to figure out what angle they could come from. This compound really can get hit from like 3 different sides. And it looks like Pokey is back into the fight. And you can see Dab Play Squad off in the distance there.
I'm still taking sniper shots. Okay, I'm also getting...
All right, with Jacob on your screen. By the way, I got word from production. Jacob actually tied for 4th with Winsanity in our final racing map, Fish's map in the World of Wonder modes that we were doing. So I was able to net, I believe, 5 points for his team for that. And now's an opportunity to net even more. Now, Jacob doesn't have any elims yet. Potentially his team could.
We might be able to crash this.
And right now, they're just using their Challenger SRT Hellcats to kind of rotate around, get some info, and then decide whether or not to push. That's kind of some of those comms you're hearing of, like, do we push this? Do we go? Do we go? Jacob's flying around to get info, but then is going to either group back up with his team and they all push together, or back off, say this isn't our fight, and address the fight from a different angle.
Uh-oh. The Saurus PG had one of his teammates get sniped. That's Quan Deadshot on the receiving end of that one. And let's see if they get pushed here. You can see the vehicle kind of on the center of the screen at about 185 degrees on that compass. But, man, they are in a bad spot right now. Got to get revived. They're trying to ward off somebody. We'll see who comes out on top here. Still 42 players alive, Goj, in this one. It seems like we've been playing for a while, but the teams have been defensive, and they are trying to stay alive to get a share of that $10,000 prize pool.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised. I thought there was going to be more teams near the bottom of the leaderboard play a hyper-aggressive playstyle, and we're not really seeing it, at least not yet. And we're nearing what I would call close to the end game. Now, we've got some time, but even still, next circle closing here in 30 seconds. Oh, Dab takes one to the face and should have no problem getting revived. But even just getting knocked and depleting resources is going to be a huge frustration if you start running out of resources in these final several fights that you're about to get into. So you don't want to get knocked if you can help it, just for resource management reasons. But Solara trying to take Solara from distance. Yeah, oh yeah, that is Dab's team, I believe, down there having to rotate. Solara connected on that from that distance. That's wild.
Yeah, Solara really standing out to me as part of this tournament. She has been crushing it, delivering those beautiful nose Nagat shots down range there.
You lead, I rotate with.
Dab trying to get back in the fight, but Solara, they are taking control here. You love to see it.
Yeah, especially when you're in first place. You can grab a couple picks. Again, every elimination, 2 points. These are massive for your overall scoreboard, especially if you can make it into the placement points or high up into the placement points. Every team can walk away with some points if you just don't get last, but you don't start earning double-digit points until 6. But now we're in a fight. Teammates fighting on the outside. Dab trying to heal up. Solara a little bit maybe isolated from her team just slightly, but continues to just rain hellfire from distance to hopefully connect and continue depleting resources. They're just setting up for the end. Now teammates in trouble. Solara's got to get involved.
He's very...
She'll get involved. I have no doubts at all. You talked about resources a bit earlier, about not depleting them. I feel like the most important resource is that helmet. So many headshots going out right now with these snipes and with other people getting knocked. I'm wondering how many people are going to come into this final circle with no headgear on.
Wow. Solara's down. Teammates a little bit in trouble. Should be able to get a revive here with the smoke thrown out. Again, smoke's so key for rotations, also key for pushes like this. Dab trying to get a little bit of revenge. Dab goes big and cleans up Solara. Can he clean up the rest of the team? He's lost Sad in the process. Getting shot now from multiple angles.
Fighting at
Dab's still on about half health and a little bit in trouble, and Jacob has found an off angle.
Knock right here behind the tree. I don't have a shot on it though.
Sick knock.
Great comms.
No. Should we blow this car?
And Powerbang, they're just trying to decide what to do. Because at this point, you're playing edge, you're in a decent position. You don't want to push too aggressively and give up what could be a top 5 or top 6 placement to earn a ton of placement points. But you also want eliminations. Yeah. You've got to find eliminations if you want to creep this leaderboard.
You really do. Eliminations are everything. Again, being super aggressive will pay off, obviously, if you can manage to stay alive as well. Now we've got Sizov cruising the battlefield here, looking for those runovers. Doesn't quite get Meatball, but Carito is down. It looks like Axar there in the kill feed as well, with a couple of nade knocks, and now Squad 11 here in a bit of trouble. That looks to be Prod Squad. He's getting picked up by his teammate, gonna dust himself off, get back in the fight. Now the numbers on who is remaining are rapidly plummeting, Goj. We are down to just 23 players left on this map.
Yeah, we've got about 70 or so seconds here to rotate the next zone, so Prod's not in the weeds yet. He's going to heal up. Prod's team has a full team of 4, but he says they're in a pickle because of this rotation. This is going to be difficult, especially if you don't have some of our dodge vehicles for cover and using some of those buggies. You're going to get ripped out of that vehicle very quickly, and Prod's got to decide how he's going to rotate in. But having a full team of 4 is a massive advantage when 17 total players are left in this lobby. Looks like Coffee is down and out, but he has all of his teammates alive. Full team of 3. They're on edge of zone as well, but they're on that kind of short side, that skinny side that you were talking about, Powerbang.
Yeah, it makes it easier to move in, but they got to make a move now. See, they're out of zone here with this ridge with a bunch of open ground in front of them. They got to go secure the foot of this hill while they still can, and it looks like they're doing just that. Quatch actually trying to secure some space using the car for a little bit of cover. They have gotten a nice spot in zone now, and that was absolutely massive. If they would have waited a little bit longer, they probably would have been gate kept out of it.
Great breakdown. I totally agree, right? You're on the skinny side, but there's a ton of open space. To the next piece of cover, Prod goes down. Prod in trouble. Looks like Miss Werewolf is healing up and is still alive. See if Prod can get back up or if he'll get cleaned up. That's a huge takedown if Prod falls there. Oh, we have a dodge detour. You've got 2 minutes on the clock. You've got to rev 2 dodge engines in the in circle. 13 players left, everything on the line, and you got to find a dodge, and you got to rev engines for 5 points. This could make or break some of these teams' point totals and make or break whether or not they make money today.
There's only a few teams left on the map right now. 12 players remain, which means, you know, there are not many squads left. So, again, this could be a big tide turner right now, but how many cars are actually left? How many Dodge vehicles are in there? It looks like there's just buggies, so they're going to use the buggies to get to the Dodges to secure those points. At this point in the game, though, maybe you let these go and you try to snipe the people that are going for the Dodges, because as you can see, there are not a lot of Dodge vehicles around right now.
Yeah, I think it was Coffee's team that maybe had 1, but you need 2 to secure this, and so far it doesn't look like anybody's secured it yet. They're more worried about this final fight. 12 players remaining. And I think it's worth noting, we've been talking about the Dodge Detours, Winsanity's got a full team of 4 up in the final circle. Come back. Prod did restabilize and finds an elimination off screen. Winsanity's got a full team of 4 and a decent spot to boot. This could be a Winsanity win.
We got people on our right.
A Winsanity win. You gotta love the sound of that.
How many smokes I have?
Sounds winsane.
I just put 2 up.
Smokes come out. Win's gonna be pushing up the hill here potentially. They're out of circle. They've got to make up about 30 meters to get into zone. Smoke wall out. They're gonna be looking for that tree and some hard cover there potentially from the vehicles. And on the other side of things, you've got Coffee Gaming Squad. It looks like Coffee is down, but his 3 teammates still up in this one.
Hello.
Very diverse group there on the flags, too. You got Puerto Rico, Bangladesh, Japan. Who knows if that's where they're actually from, but there they are.
Yeah, they actually had an enemy as well right around that rock. They were able to clean it up.
He's low on the tree on the left.
10 players remaining. 3 players. They've got probably a better position than Win, potentially. This could be a Coffee win as well, but
somewhere over there.
Too low. Payne and Pokey trying to heal up, and Win's about to get a ton of damage chunked off his health. He should. No! He's not going to get the... Oh, he didn't get the med off. He tried to throw meds, but that blue chunks so aggressively when you're in the final circle.
Watch out.
Win makes a massive error in the final seconds. Would he have gone down anyway? Maybe. But falls, and Prod Gaming still alive. 3 out of 4.
This is big.
This is massive. Prod won the last race. Prod is about to
Prod won the race.
dramatically.
I didn't see how far down he was on the leaderboard. I want to say gut feel he was in like the 10th, the 12th spot maybe. But man, with a win on the racetrack and now potentially a win here on this final map, he's going to have something to say about making a play for that prize pool.
Payne goes down by Lucky.
Marked a location.
Payne is a huge takeoff of Winsanity's team. That means at least 2 are down from Winsanity's team. It might be Winsanity versus Prod for a spot in the money. Both teams a little bit further down, but 15 points for that chicken dinner. And it's a 3v2 in the final fight. No more dodge detours, no more ways to gain points. 15 points on the line for the chicken dinner, but 2 or 3 eliminations on the other. So no, it's Coffee. Coffee's team, the last alive. Winsanity squad fully wiped. And it's 2 players from Coffee's team that have just been crawling their way to the finish line. Powerbang, this is ridiculous.
Look at that pan throw. It was so close to landing. You can see it looks like Quatch here on your screen. This is Coffee's teammate. Fired some shots, so they have a pretty good idea of where he's at, and it looks like Volt actually picks up the finish. We have a 2v2 for the finale.
Oh, a huge take. Might get traded out, though. 1v2 on the other side. Quatch is low. Powerbang, Coffee's team can do it right here, and they do. A massive winner chicken dinner. 15 points and 3 eliminations in the final fight. That's a 21-point swing for winning that. Coffee has got to be excited about that hard carry from his qualifier teammates.
I'm so excited to see how this shakes out. Man, Goj, we had some crazy shakeups there on the leaderboard. We had some standout players. We saw Prod and Coffee do well on the racing circuit, but then bring that same performance to the battlegrounds, wrapping up in style on Erangel. You love to see it. Coffee ultimately getting the edge. You had to feel like Prod had the advantage there in the 3v2 and just wasn't able to capitalize, just getting picked apart one at a time. Big props to Coffee Gaming and his team.
It's a great breakdown, and I want to take a look back at some of these replays because there was kind of nonstop action at the very beginning of this and at the end of this. The middle game was very quiet, so we'll see some of these replays. Of course, Bushka unfortunately couldn't catch a break in the early game. Some of these teams playing fairly aggressive to try to find some early eliminations and set them up for success in the later game, but not nearly as aggressive as a start as I thought it would be. Powerbang, especially with where some of the teams are at on the leaderboard. I thought they were just going to full send, pedal to the metal, grab that Challenger SRT Hellcat and fly around the map, but it was a fairly patient play style that ended up paying off for a lot of the squads.
Absolutely was, and with the plane path where it was and having only certain cities even available to drop in at the outset, I did think we were going to get off to a bit of a quicker start, but ultimately we were not disappointed because it was a pretty quick finish with 40-plus players alive going into those final couple of circles, and the bodies started flying towards the end there, capped off with a beautiful showdown between Coffee Gaming and Prod.
Yeah, this is such a fun one to watch here with this kind of overhead perspective. Winsanity squad, I believe, ended up getting 3rd in that last map, which is still a sizable amount of points. You're still walking with 13 placement points. You could see Win close to or in the money at the end of the day, but here's this final fight, and high ground usually reigns supreme, but on a hill like this with the angles that you had, the low ground, honestly, probably the better play. You're able to clip some headshots through the grass, and just perfectly played by Coffee's teammates.
Absolutely. So we are through the gameplay, but it all comes down to the tallying of what's going on. Production's crunching the numbers. We've got our League Ox team getting ready to give us the results, and that ultimately will lead to who is taking home their share of $10,000 in prizes. Again, first place is going to take home $5K. That's a nice day of work for just a few hours here on the PUBG Mobile Battlegrounds. So again, you'll love to see that goes.
Yeah, and there were so many ways to earn points today. Just kind of as a recap, so fun to take a look back on whatever we were able to accomplish today, because we had Erangel, Miramar, and then we had our World of Wonder Dodge official collaboration, race maps, we saw drag races, we saw road races, and then we saw our community member Fish put together an incredible map for us, 43 checkpoints in Erangel. all of those points earned and through the dodge detours that a lot of the teams were able to accomplish, you can tally up your points to get to this final stage, where then it just becomes a math game at the end to see who tally up the most. The team at the top going into this Powerbang was Solara, right? And Solara's team played a fairly complacent, patient last game. The big question in my mind, was it enough to maintain the top position, or are we going to see somebody sweep in and snag that win away from Solara when we thought maybe they had secured that victory, especially with Bella Fox being really nowhere to be seen in that last map?
Yeah, Bella kind of fell off the cliff, so to speak, in those last couple of games. Unfortunate for her, because she was sitting good after the first two, and you know she was proud of that first half of the performance, but it was a tale of two halves. And again, we look at Solara and her team. They did play a bit complacently, like you mentioned, but it definitely, you know, it's important that she was there, right? Like, she was present towards the end of the game. Her team was in it. And, you know, she was sniping down there by shooting range. She was busting off those shots. I know she connected with Dab Plays and dropped him in the house. So, again, showing off the chops with the Mosin Nagant there, and really liked the play all day long from Solara Gaming and her squad. I got to give a big tip of the old PB cap to her.
Yeah, very well played. Dab was able to grab a little bit of revenge in that fight, pushing the equation, playing fairly aggressively. But it was Coffee Gaming. And honestly, what's funny is that Coffee Gaming's team at the end wins that fight because they had low ground. We talked about this a second ago. They took low ground. If we remember, they were on the skinny side of the zone, but they had a fairly large gap of wide open space they had to cover to get to that edge of that final hill for cover. They get to the edge of the final hill, and they've got a dodge, one of the dodge vehicles as cover, which was huge to be able to maintain that position. Nobody was able to take them out. Everybody else fought each other. Coffee had two teammates left alive. They snuck up the edge of the hill and win the end of that fight. So I think it was Win went out in third place. But it's time. I'm getting word from production. We have our champion. Roll it. We got to see if Solara was able to hold on to it. Our champion of the Muscle Car Madness Grand Finals. It's here. Powerbang. And it is Team Coffee.
Oh, they did it!
At the final seconds, the win at the end. They win it all. $5,000 going to Team Coffee. Unbelievable comeback.
Massive, massive clutch here from Team Coffee. Coffee Gaming and his compadres with the timing. Let's see just how close it was between Coffee and the rest of the field. And it was a nail biter. Coffee edging out Solara by just 3 points. The bonus points coming in clutch. Coffee able to get some of those back, but really it came down to rank elims. Just honestly, just a little bit better across the board here for Team Coffee. Crazy, crazy stuff.
I am floored with that comeback. An absolute massive swing in points with the eliminations they were able to grab, and of course those 15 placement points. Unbelievable performance from Team Coffee, and specifically those qualifier players on Team Coffee's team. We've got to shout them out. They finished it out perfectly across the board. That's Volt, that's Quatch, and that's Fury. Unreal performance from those qualifier players in particular. Coffee, of course, set them up for success, but 85-82. Now, big shout out to the Boat Gang. They still podium here at Powerbang, so a great shout from you as well. 71 points. Walked away with a little bit of some cash today, and Team Prod did eke their way in there as well after a map 3 race victory and then a solid performance at the end. But here's that Team Coffee. Shouted them out just a second ago. Coffee, Volt, Quatch, and Fury Trig. They were able to do it. $5,000 richer. Huge congratulations.
Man, great stuff from Coffee Gaming. Again, coming in clutch and just a little bit better than Team Solara. Not by much. Very, very close across the board. But, you know, to summarize that last little bit, we saw Bella Fox slip out of the money. Oh, it's a dagger. The new PUBG Mobile dagger to the heart. Unfortunate for them. They just miss out. It's actually a tie for 4th. And by way of tiebreaker, most Battle Royale points, that's going to put another team up and over them. But it was a great, great battle nonetheless. And I'm super excited to talk with hopefully our winners here soon. But again, Coffee, I got to shout out the timing. You saw them hop over that wall, make that push. Had they waited just another 10 seconds or more, Winsanity's team coming in from the blue zone, they're going to have eyes on them. Prod's team at the top of that ridge, they're going to crest and then see them trying to make the dash. They moved at the right time, secured the position, and ultimately let it battle out between the other teams, and they just cleaned it up at the end. So again, big shout-outs to Coffee Gaming and the timing that his team showed.
Yeah, a great breakdown again. Very, very impressed. It also was just a massive swing, right? Like when we look back at that leaderboard, I was trying to find where they were at before. I think that was like close to like a 40-point swing to be able to make it to the top of the leaderboard, which is ridiculous, especially at a stage like this, the final map of the day in Erangel. You had to get a ton of eliminations, and you had to get the chicken dinner to close it out. 3 points was the difference, which means that final fight, Powerbang, if they get second and don't get a couple of those elims, they're not getting first place. They had to win it all and take out the entire opponent's team in order to win it all. A ridiculous moment to clutch up in the final seconds. Ice in the veins, whatever you want to call it. All of the flowers and all of the tip of the Go Chat, albeit not nearly as illustrious as the Powerbang hat. Still, I will tip my hat to Team Coffee because an incredible comeback in the final seconds.
It really was, and it just shows you how close it was that if Team Solara would have had 2 Dodge vehicles in the final circles there.
That's true.
Threw up that Dodge Detour. If they would have been able to rev just a couple of engines, they would have been walking away with their $5,000 first prize instead. But unfortunately, it was not in the cards for Solara and her crew. But man, really, really great performance from them. I got to say, they impressed me probably the most out of everybody today, despite not winning.
Yeah, that Dodge Detour potentially costed them $2,500. But the interview is ready. We've got Coffee in the house. Coffee, my man. Ridiculous finish to the day. Ridiculous comeback. I'm sure you were confident, but talk to me about how you're feeling.
Well, I wasn't really confident myself, to be honest. I got taken out early there on the last match. But yeah, the boys came in clutch, and they deserve it. I got to say, they fully deserve it.
They really did, Coffee. You guys had a masterful comeback there. Talk to me about the attitude or the mindset of the team. You guys are fresh off some decent performance in the racing portion, but you know coming into that final Erangel match, it had to be a bit of an uphill climb. Talk to me about the strategy coming into that match.
Well, we didn't know the scoreboard, the exact points on the scoreboard coming in that last match, so we were settling in at least a top 4 performance. Our goal was to be in the money. But yeah, you know, as soon I died, I jumped into the in-game leader seat and try to make the most accurate calls as possible. But again, these guys are pros. They know what they're doing. And I was just there to, hey, maybe a little boost, maybe a little smoke, zone closing in, you know, small call outs. And they came in clutch, really well fought.
I love that breakdown. I was looking back on the leaderboards, and I think after Miramar, you all were in third and only just barely over Jacob at 49 points. But the 2 leaders, it was Bella Fox at 63 and Solara at 56. So you had a sizable gap to overcome, right? And you were able to grab a couple in the racing, but so did Solara, so you needed a big one. Talk to me about the team as a whole, though, because obviously, I mean, the qualifier players you had on your team, they went crazy, right? Did you all spend some time practicing and like preparing for the event, or was this like we're going in blind and we're just swinging for the fences?
Yeah, I was going in blind 100%. No preparation whatsoever. The guys never played with each other either, so it was no synergy. And you know, I think it probably showed off also in game number 1. We lost 2 players early, and after that, you know, like you said, Miramar was a good game for us. Maybe some little communication issues here and there, but hey, at the end of the day, we keep the morale as high as possible, and you know, it paid off there at the end.
Well, perfect, Coffee. You and your squad are not just in the money, but you're walking away with the most money here in this event. You got all stacked up, ready to go get into that Unleash Muscle Lucky Spin. You can get those dodges, you know, on your profiles now, so that's super awesome. But I want to throw it to you. Where can people find you? Where can people see your content for PUBG Mobile?
I'm on mainly Facebook and also on YouTube. I'm kind of new there. Closing on 8,000 subs. I don't think, maybe I'm gonna hit it tonight, 7,900 something. But yeah, we're working on that YouTube and try to expand there. But yeah, Facebook and YouTube, my main 2 platforms. Also on Instagram, Twitter. If you guys want to know more about myself, my lifestyle, my family, everything is happening on those two platforms as well. So yeah.
I love it, man. Let's get them over 8K tonight, chat. You guys heard it here first. Congrats again, Coffee.
Thank you, PB. Thank you, guys.
Congrats. Hey, cool, calm, and collected, and confident. Congrats again, my friend, and I'm sure we'll see you in the next event. Go celebrate with your team. You all definitely earned it.
We will. All
right. I love talking to Coffee, Powerbang. Always a fun chat and able to break it down for us. I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't have a lot of practice, because he was right. Like, the first map didn't really go their way, but especially those players, the qualifier players on his team, they look like they've been playing together for years. I mean, talk about the chemistry, the ability to work together as a unit and win that final map. Crazy to kind of come through just this tournament and find that amount of chemistry in the final moments.
They really did. I thought they were really impressive. His teammates specifically found themselves up quite a bit. It was Quatch and Volt and Triggs supporting Coffee Gaming there, so got to give them their flowers as well. Congrats on the performance tonight, gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoy the prize money.
Well, speaking of prizes, Powerbang, they've grabbed their prize money, and our other winners have grabbed at least a little bit of prize money. It was $2,500 for second, so Solar's got to feel good about that. But it's time. Down in the chat, if you're live on all of our social medias, go type in your PUBG Mobile UID for a chance for some UC. We're going to be grabbing some of those UIDs in the chat. Spam them as much as you like. The show's about to be over, but we want to reward you just for being here and being with us and active in the chat. So thanks for being here. Congrats to those that have won some UC. Hopefully you're the next lucky winner. Just type in that user ID. But while they're doing that, Powerbang, this is my least favorite part of the show. We started going to close this thing out. Any final words for the broadcast? It was such a blast casting this whole thing with you.
You hate saying goodbye, Goj, but it's about that time. My final thoughts are as follows. Impressive work all the way around. Impressive play, not only on the battlegrounds, impressive driving, impressive map building, even from Fish in the World of Wonder. Really great stuff all the way around, and I gotta say, I'm a little jealous of those that gotta go do that IRL racing challenge. But after it's all said and done, Coffee Gaming, again, a big tip of the cap to you for yours and your team's performance on the battlegrounds tonight.
A great shout, Powerbang. We love you. We thank you. And I'm sure we'll see you in another event down the line. Thanks for joining me in the booth. All right, folks. At home, I hope you had a blast here in the booth with us and hanging out with us. Really a fun tournament all the way through. So thank you for being active. Thanks for hanging out with us. And one more time, I've got to remind you that Dodge is pure, unadulterated, unapologetic car performance. If you enjoyed this broadcast, go check out the Dodge collaboration in-game now till November 6th. But to do that, you've got to go download PUBG Mobile for free in the iOS or Android Google Play Store. That 2.8 update is so incredible. Go check it out, especially those World of Wonder new updates for different templates and things you can do in World of Wonder. So go check it out. Free download. Go get your hands on it. I'm sure everybody in chat has already done it, but I had to remind you. And definitely go follow PUBG Mobile on all major socials. They're always posting about new news, new patch notes for these 2.8 updates and otherwise, and of course more events down the line that you can get involved with. A lot of the players today, they're just like you and me. They had a chance to get involved because they followed PUBG Mobile on those socials and then qualified for the main event. So if you want to be on this next broadcast the next time it's possible, you got to go follow them on all major socials. But folks, it's time to close out the show. I've had a blast with you here in the booth. Again, my name is Goj, and this was the Muscle Car Madness PUBG Mobile Grand Finals. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, have a great rest of your week.